What is up, everybody? Welcome to Swim or Sink 63. I'm Chads, joined by Sky, and we are going to kick things off with Legato versus Heaven's Moonlight. I'm pretty excited about this personally, because I know a couple people on these teams. Tayu's great Slayer, you have Gray on Legato, excellent Slayer, Kipoo's blue plays Splatlings, Tugster, great support player. It's just going to be an all-around good time.
Yeah, honestly, both of these teams are, they ring bells to me. I recognize them from Low Ink, if I'm not mistaken.
Heaven's Moonlight, definitely. They did pretty well the last Low Ink. I believe Beta Bracket Finals, or was it Beta Bracket Losers Finals? Or Alpha Bracket Losers Finals. One of those two.
And Legato, from what I've seen, they do a lot of stuff on Twitter. So, I see them in my timeline a lot. But we're going to be going into our first game on Splatzone's Wahoo. Honestly, I feel like this is like a fan favorite map. Like, maybe not specifically for SOS, but honestly, I see this map a lot. There's...
Oh. Yeah. Splatzone's Mako, it's Splatzone's Wahoo. It is Splatzone's Wahoo. You have a slight error on this stream. It's supposed to be Wahoo. Splatzone's Wahoo personally is one of my favorite maps. I don't know how much the community likes it, but I think it's really fun.
I know there's a lot of memes with it because, with launch point drafts and everything, like, it got put into draft so much that somebody, like, made a meme with a tent being like, woo, that's what we're waiting for. And just, like, going into the zone with a tent.
It would be fun to see a tent here. As always, I'm going to hope for some sort of backline. We probably won't see it.
Woo, shooter meta! Oh wait, there's a bamboo!
Ooh, a bamboo! Everybody's favorite meme steak, complete with MPU in the hands of Elite, Tayu on the K-Shot, Sleepy on the NZEP, and Luck on the Kensagal for our Heaven's Moonlight. Meanwhile, Legato has on their side a bit more of a funky comp. They've got Squeezer, wielded by Gray. Foil Flingza, not sure who's holding on to that. NZEP in the hands of Tug. And then one of the other members is going to have the Kensagal as well. Not surprised to see two Kensagal. Ooh, very quick 2 down on the side of like Heaven's Moonlight. Yeah,
it looks like honestly, my thought process on the K-Gal is, Wall's a really really good sub here. You can wall people out of coming into the zone, but especially the Booyah with how small that zone is especially helpful.
Yeah, Booyah is also great for, of course, getting people off of the plats. 2 down on the side of the Legato, meanwhile, with 1 down, make that 2 down from a quick double from Blurry on the side of Heaven's Moonlight. Legato's going to try and get this cap here. I don't think they're going to get it, though, with everybody fighting for the zone. Booyah's coming out, though. That might help them get that. Blurry's going to opt to toss it over, chase some people out of the plat instead of going it for zone, which was smart. It did help them get that cap, and they got a couple extra points out of it.
It's just sitting here in a little bit of a neutral state. Blurry does go down to the zap, and Crassula tries to go into zone to back off. And it looks like they have to completely back off from the zone and give it to Heaven's Moonlight.
Yeah, Heaven's Moonlight getting that cap, which of course puts a very hefty penalty on Legato, courtesy of them getting it all the way down to 23. Tai is going to try and make something happen here with the K-shot. They just fired off missiles, almost to another one. Of course, we do love missiles in this meta, and by love, we mean love-hate.
But it's fine, because if we say we hate it, we can all say that we've contributed to it in some capacity.
Very, very true, and it is interesting to note that Heaven's Moonlight is running double missile thanks to the bamboo and the Gensa shot. Meanwhile, on the side of Legato, their only missile comes in the form of the foil Flingza, so one team is definitely a bit more quote-unquote meta than the other. Overall, though, I'm not really sure if having the double missile is helping Heaven's Moonlight too much here. The bamboo can't really spam it as well as other weapons can, and it keeps getting picked off.
Yeah, it's nice to see that, like, Legato is able to hold that zone, especially against Heaven's Moonlight here. But Heaven's Moonlight does keep, fighting for it and everything. It's very back and forth, even with that big lead with Legato.
Heaven's Moonlight did a great job to chip away at it. Already down to 46 for them. They, of course, have the smaller penalty. Missiles coming out from the foil. Things are fielded by Cresswell. Blurry's going to use that Booyah Bomb, and they're going to see if they can maybe get a pick with that. Goes for zone. Gray's using bubbles coming in from the right side glass. It's going to be a cap in favor of Legato. One member of Heaven's Moonlight is behind. Luck going down to the foil Flingza, and a 3 down on the side of Heaven's Moonlight. The only one alive is that bamboo, and they don't have the paint to do much right now.
They really don't have the pain, especially with a suction bomb getting thrown at them.
I feel their pain.
Yeah.
We have 2 specials on the side of Heaven's Moonlight, though, so they can push them in. Looks like Tayo managed to get this missile right as the other ones fired off, so they did have a 3 special chain going in. Not before Legato takes their score all the way down to 14, though. That is really good on this map.
Especially considering the fact that if Heaven's Moonlight plays their cards right here, they could 100% lock Legato out of making any further pushes here. It does look like Legato is going to pop an armor, which is going to help them to make some sort of push coming in from the right side here and aggressing Heaven's Moonlight heavily. But
he's going down there.
Yeah, that's nice shots from the zap here, getting 2 down. And then instantly popping armor for the rest of their team, making one person jump out, and it looks like Heaven's Moonlight is going to take the lead here, and it's just going to be a fight to see in the last 30 seconds if Legato can get in, and wow, okay.
We have the 1-point lead, Tug with the clutch armor and the Booyah Bomb from the K-Gal coming in together to get that zone cap to just in time. And now things are going to get pretty dangerous, because it is going to probably go into overtime here.
It's going to 100% go into overtime, yeah.
They're going to end up not getting this game. But they don't have a lot of time left on their penalty. The courtesy of them continuously chipping it away. 2 down on the side of Legato now, though. Can HM get something going on with this bamboo? Oh no, he falls! But it looks like Heaven's Moonlight managed to barely cap the zone just in time.
Oh my god. There's so much purple on in the middle there, too, still.
While the zone is deceptive, it takes a lot more to put it into neutral than you'd think. Probably some of those purple streaks came from a mid-air Flingza flick from Cressula that was trying to keep the zone painted, and it just landed after the timer ended.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. I don't know. That was pretty back and forth. I'm gonna be honest. It was interesting to see that. It felt very like, oh yeah, Legato's gonna win this, because like they've been holding the zone and they've been holding lead the entire time. But Heaven's Moonlight just kind of came up and just you know, did a little haha funny and
Yeah, a little bit haha funny there at the end, and it worked out for them in their favor. Moving on, we've got Tower Control, Anchovy Games. This is going to be fun. Everybody, of course, knows that with this map, after the second checkpoint, that's when things start getting real snowbally real fast.
Yeah. I feel like that does definitely go for a lot of tower control modes. Like, you know, just getting past the first 2 checkpoints is usually a really good indicator that you're probably going to get past the 3rd checkpoint. Or at the very least, you're in a very good position to just win the game as a whole.
Yeah, but with Anchovy, you sometimes see games that maybe they score like 50 and that's a win. Honestly, I don't expect too many swaps coming from either team in terms of weapons. The only one I could think of possibly that might swap is Gray off the Squeezer. He does play Naught. So I could see them pulling out the Nautilus here rather than the Squeezer. But I don't think something funky here.
Yeah, I would love to see a Naught. I'm not biased. I don't know what you're talking about. I just really like the weapon. It's a pretty cool weapon. If I you know.
I am fully admitted that I am biased and I want to see a backline. It won't happen probably, but
I mean, if
maybe Elite, but
like Elite's probably going to be the only person that we see play backline this entire set.
Probably. Maybe the only one we'll see play backline the entire night. Sometimes it does feel like that.
That's true. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I see Elite's probably gonna stick with backline. One could hope.
Maybe he'll pull out the dreaded V-Jet.
Oh no. That's where I kind of...
But definitely a very good pick for this map. We do see Gray has swapped over to the Nautilus, and Elite has swapped over to the V-Jet.
Why is our meta like this?
Nintendo, if you can hear us, please. We're suffering.
Please.
We see lots of last-ditch effort on the side of Legato. Meanwhile, on the side of Heaven's Moonlight, not as much, 2 versus 3. But sometimes that little bit can make a little bit of that difference that you really need. Missiles already out on the side of Heaven's Moonlight. Armor coming out from Tug, combined with the missiles from the K-Shot on the side of the Legato. Auto member of 2 down on the side of Legato. And now members of Heaven's Moonlight are going to try and swarm up onto that plat as fast as possible. They want to get that first checkpoint.
Heaven's Moonlight here doing a really good job getting that first checkpoint and making good advances here. Having armor already popped and Elite getting pretty close to a missile here.
Yeah, V-Jet can pump out missiles like crazy if they don't die. Missiles coming out from the side of Legato. Legato does have double missile now, as well as the armor, courtesy of one member swapping over to the K-Shot. Spray going down in the middle of that Inkjet. Looks like we had a little Inkjet fight there, but brings back to good old days. 2 down on the side of Legato. Elite's going to get rushed by this NZAP, though. They're in a pretty dangerous spot. Yeah,
Tai is doing a really good job here. They do go down to that Knot, though. Not doing some Nautilus things. And is able to get another pick off for Legato, and it allows them to stop Heaven Moonlight's push here. Making them not be able to get past that second checkpoint, and giving them an opportunity to push up as well, because, you know, here they have a lot of paint. It would be a little unwise to just kind of not take advantage of that in some capacity.
Yeah, 2 going down on the side of Legato, though. Missiles coming out from Heaven's Moonlight. Cressel is going to try and possibly get this checkpoint, not able to find him and had to hide on the wall because of that Inkjet. They're going to pop up onto the plat, and that's going to make it hard. Only a single lock on the missile there, which is unfortunate. Looks like they were going for the tri-lock. But they're back on tower now, so Legato, although they did get pushed all the way back to mid, still keeping up the pressure, which is super important on this map. 1 down on each side of the field. Now Legato has lost their armor. Meanwhile, Heaven's Moonlight has lost their Inkjet, which is arguably the better special to lose in that scenario. Armor is going to be more powerful than Inkjet on the defense. The dreaded double missiles make an appearance, painting a whole section of that arcade. shade area. Blue, 1 down on each side of the map. Both of them having missiles. One member of Legato going down as well. That's 2 down with a staggered respawn. That's going to make that push very difficult to continue. Looking at the kill counts, relatively bloodless game overall. You see that aside from Tayo on the K-shot for the side of Heaven's Moonlight, nobody has gotten more than 5 kills. And you figure probably some of them are going to be assists in the case of the NZAP.
Yeah.
Don't let the missiles get you, Sky, because more of them are coming out.
The missiles do be choking me a little bit. And we see a full wipe on the side of Legato, giving Heaven's Moonlight a full opportunity to get back to that second checkpoint and possibly take it home this time.
Yeah, if they can get past that second checkpoint, especially with how late in the game it is now, that is definitely very, very powerful. Only just now, though, Heaven's Moonlight has taken the lead, though. It's still very close. It's anybody's game still, but with 2 down on the side of Legato, and Luck in a really good spot to try and continue this push for them, it's going to be a little bit hard. Luck gets 1, Luck gets 2. Can Luck get the magic 3rd one? Nope. Teammates steals it, last one jumps out. No quad for him.
While there's no quad, at least there's the, there's the example there of teamwork at play. So, while single-player achievements are really amazing, especially something like a quad in mid-tournament, while even being on stream is spectacular, just showing that you're able to let your teammate take a kill and go back to the position that's more important to help you with your push and everything, it's really nice to see.
1 down on the side of Heaven's Moonlight. Make that 3. Looks like a lucky double bomb or a double flick from the Flingza. Make that a full wipe. So this is Legato's big chance. They don't have a lot to go to get the lead in terms of point-wise. Now, granted, a lot of distance to cover since the tower was all the way back in their base. But they don't even need to break that second checkpoint to get the lead. They just need to get most of the way through it. They have 4 specials on the line. Ray is in a good spot on this fan here, going to use that funny little inkjet spot on this snap to take to the skies and be out of everybody's range. 1 down on the side of Heaven's Moonlight. Missiles all on the tower. Oh, unfortunate there. Just not able to dodge them. Somebody's going to have to get on, and that's going to make things harder. 2 down on the side of Legato. Everybody is dogpiling that tower, and that is it. GG's. Heaven's Moonlight is going to take the set. But we're not done.
Yeah, it's play all 3, so they're gonna take the set, sure, but there's still the chance that Legato can at least get a point here if they play their cards correctly.
Yeah, I mean, winning that 3rd game, even if you have lost a set, can still be very good for seeding. It can mean the difference between you getting into a higher bracket versus a lower bracket.
I mean, it's always better to go 2, or it's always better to go 1-2 rather than be going 0-3. So.
And finally, we go Clamblitz, Mako Mart. Everybody's favorite mode.
Well, I would say that it's everybody's favorite mode, but I know that's quite the opposite. I think Mako Mart is definitely a fan favorite map. It tends to be a map that a lot of people will in general pick, especially in counter picks. It's a very neutral map. Doesn't really give any particular big advantages or disadvantages to either team. And honestly, I don't know, I'm biased. I very much love Clamblitz. I think Clamblitz is a very nice mode, and it's a very nice mode to see teams play in, because it really shows how well a team can work with one another.
Yeah, honestly, this is the mode that tests your teamwork the most, even more so than Rainmaker, which is another one where it's very big on teamwork and how to make your pushes. You have to be coordinated, you have to manage the clams, you have to pass them back and forth. You can't just, run around the map and pick up 10 clans and then boom, you have a power clan. It's not back when this mode first came out. Honestly, though, this is such a fun map. It's good for a variety of weapons. Blasters are good here. I would love to see a rapid blaster with a weapon we don't get to see too often, but it can be very good for picking people off the stacks and off of the snipes. Sloshers are very good here. Any sort of ledge campy weapon like the roller. I'm assuming Cressel is going to stick to that Slings of roller.
I wouldn't put it past them. That's primarily what they've been sticking with, so.
We do see, it looks like only one tiny little
And we see the bamboo again.
That does not surprise me. Personally, I would not pick bamboo on this map because it changes in elevation, throw me off. But if you're good with bamboo, it can rock on this map.
Yeah, I mean, bamboo is not a bad pick on this map, especially for the mode.
Yeah, it's such a mobile anchor weapon. Luck already pulling out the pentamissile. That's one in the game. Predictions on how many we're going to get. My guess is probably in total, maybe 7 between all 3 missilers in the lobby. Oh, full wipe on the side of Legato. Heaven's Moonlight is just going to come straight in with that power clam. And they've already popped the basket. But of course, everybody from Legato has respawned, so now they can get on that defense right away.
Heaven's Moonlight does get the first opening basket, but they don't really gain anything off of this. They get the first push of, you know, getting to a remaining of 80. And they didn't get any other further clams in, so...
True, but at the same time, they also get that psychological edge of we pop the basket first, and very quickly. Sometimes that's important. Looks like that the Splash Neo is going to be over on the left-hand side with the Slosher, one member of the Heaven's Moonlight on the right stack. Blurry's going to try and see if they can pick that off, which would be great. Getting the stacks is so important on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely important to have stacks, or at the very least watch them, because that's what where a lot of teams are going to be pushing. Whether it's the enemy stacks with you pushing in and throwing a clam into the basket, or you just defending from your stacks and making sure that nobody's going to push in. Blurry here is going to pop a booyah, and it looks like he's going to do it top left to avoid having anybody coming from there as they throw a clam into the basket. Looks like they're hoping to have their teammates take some sort of advantage here and get another clam while also throwing another power clam. They get some clams in here and they get both the power clams in, getting to a remaining of 42.
Yeah, that is an excellent push. Even though most of Legato went down to get that push, Tug is the only one left alive and he is running and running fast. But you saw Blurry there pop the basket and ran straight back to their spawn to get that pity clam that was underneath their basket. So they got a huge push out of that. All specials coming out now from Heaven's Moonlight. You see the missiles going off, the bomb rush, the ink armor. Tayo's going to toss in this bomb, one down on the side of Legato, but while it's also down on the side of Heaven's Moonlight, Blurry coming in, picking up 2 more, looks like a third one. Very, very good defense there on the side of Legato.
Legato's doing a really good job of shutting down these pushes. Like, they've struggled to, you know, so I guess with clam blitz as well, though, because there's always last minute pushes in this mode. But Legato is doing a really good job of keeping up with their defense, being aggressive where they need to be, and they have 2 power clams right now. So I think if they get both of those in, it gets rid of their penalty entirely and gives them some points, yes.
Yeah, and they do get both of them in. Both Tug and Cresswell sacrificing themselves to get more in. Blurry coming around behind to get more in, all the way down to 13. What a cheeky little flank there. And they managed to jump out as well, so that is a high-risk, very high-reward play for them.
A very cheeky K-52. Not only do they get away from Lucky's clutches there, but they also get, I would say, pretty lucky with getting more clams in.
Yeah, one going down on the side of Heaven's Moonlight. That is their power clam carrier. They don't want to see that going down at all. It's also important to note their Splash Neo, second highest painting value weapon on the map in terms of their comp. Possibly the highest depending on how much to try paint. But 3 going down now from Legato. Last one up is Gray. Gray does manage to get 2. Phantom missiles coming out now as the other members of Heaven's Moonlight are going to try and get this last clam in. Not able to get it though. Actually looking at the scores, and based on what Mr. Magic Streamer Man Kraken Mayor himself has said, they missed. I didn't even notice that.
Heaven's Moonlight here, just with the 3 power clams, is just so scary to me. Because it's like, which one of you are gonna get in? Or none of you gonna get in, because you guys keep getting pushed back up by Legato here.
Yeah, but that's a full wipe on the side of Legato. This is it, the last minute clam push. Probably this is what's going to make or break the game. They're going to get so many in. They just need to get 3 more little clams. They've got 1 in. Can they find 2 more? Elite got
Legato
two
is
of
doing a
them.
good job
Elite's
here
running
trying to
for
take
it.
out people.
Elite got it. Elite got it in. And
Heaven's Moonlight's gonna get clams in.
So much.
Holy crap! They get wiped, but they have lead here. Although they do give a pity to Legato, having being wiped, not being able to throw any further clams in, and Legato has 2 power clams here at ready.
But 2
One
go
going down to that try doing a really good job of taking them out, and gonna be watching that clam really heavily.
Yeah, I think this is it. This is a
game, yeah.
GG. Heaven's Moonlight just snuck in there at the last second with those 3 clams. That was nerve-wracking. A nail biter.
Honestly, that was a turnaround. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
because Heaven's Moonlight was struggling a lot during that last match. It's just having that triple clam push after a really good few people getting picked off. We love that.
Yeah.
And usually in situations like that, you're not able to get all 3 clams in.
Yeah, usually when you have 3 clams like that, you end up just having people die because your locations are completely exposed. Now, props to Legato, they fought hard, and let's be real, the Splatoon game and the Clam Blitz game, they could have gone either way. Heaven's Moonlight just barely squeaked it out this time, though.
Yeah, honestly, it was very, very lovely to sit here and commentate for Legato and Heaven's Moonlight. And that's the end of round 1 for Nessie's pools, for SOS 63. We will be going on a short little break, and we'll come back for round 2 in just a moment. So stay tuned.
We are back with Swim or Sink 63. I'm Sheds, joined by Sky, and this time we are coming at you with Orange versus Friends. Remember, everybody, get your vitamin C, eat your oranges. Tastes better with friends. Speaking of vitamin C, I believe Q used to be on vitamin C.
Which is an old team that I've heard a lot about, but was not around to see when they were active.
It was a great team. It had Lily, the really good junior player. It had Q, great Slayer. I think a player named Mars for a while. Awesome team. Really friendly.
And also, it looks like Sakura, like the junior player Sakura, if I'm not mistaken, is also playing with them on Orange.
That'll be fun. And if the Z on Orange is Mr. Z, I will be very, very happy because I'll see backlines.
More backlines for Shads. And on Black Belly Skate Park, Rainmaker, no less.
Oh. I'm joking. This is definitely one of the more chaotic maps.
I can't wait to see custom Jet Squelcher.
Please, if somebody is listening, please do not play custom Jet Squelcher. Play a sniper. You will make my day. You'll make my entire week. You will make my entire year.
Honestly, I'm not sure what I expect. Mainly because, I don't feel like I know all of these players well enough. Also, it does look like it is Mr. Z. Seeing tag and everything.
I hope so. I really, really hope so. And it is! It is! We have a sniper in the house! My year has been made!
You get a sniper, you get a sniper, and you get a sniper. Specifically,
everybody
it is
gets a sniper.
Scoped Firefin. I don't... It's one thing to see a charger, but it's another thing to see a scoped charger. Scoped chargers are not very commonly seen. I don't feel like, anyways.
They were back when there was more of a difference in the painting. Now that both of them have been nerfed to the end of the world and back, you don't see the scoped as often because the meta has shifted to high mobility. Speaking of mobility, Friends has an ink brush. That's also a weapon that you don't see a lot. This one specifically is the Nouvelle variant. It's got the binds, it's got the baller. Not a bad choice for this map at all.
Definitely not, especially with considering that they can be extremely annoying to the opposing team, and if they need to get out really quickly, as long as they pop the baller before they're getting attacked, then they can pretty much get away with murder and just escape as much as they possibly can.
2 down on both sides of the field. Rainmaker in nobody's possession, although it is closer to Friend's side of the field. Orange is going to try and get that pop. They do manage to get it, and with 2 down on the side of Friends, this is going to be the Orange's big chance to move. Frank is going to come in with that brush. He does manage to find one. Dave gets another with that knot. Dave's gonna go for another one. Can Dave get it? They have one in the corner right there. Inkjet is coming out to try and get that pick. Not able to find it. Looks like Junior ran off somewhere.
Dave also popped that Inkjet at a really lucky time, because otherwise they were going to die to that suction bomb if they had popped it any later.
And another Inkjet is out, this time on the side of Orange from that T-Tech. So interesting to note here, Orange has a vanilla dually squelcher, so that has missiles and point sensors. Not your typical missile weapon that you see. Usually if you see a CVS, it's usually if you see a dually squelcher, it's going to be the custom one that has rain and splat bomb. So it's nice to see the vanilla getting some use.
Honestly, yeah, it's just this back and forth, like, Orange here hasn't been able to make much of an advance, and Friends with a lead of 59 is just terrifying to me.
Oh, 59 is not a lead, not on this map.
Well, that's, I mean, in Rainmaker in general, it's not really a lead to begin with. Because Rainmaker being such a fast-paced mode as it is, the lead can just sporadically change at will.
Yeah, Dave is the last one alive on the side of Friends, and they are getting jumped like crazy. They go down. Orange is going to pick up the Rainmaker, take it through the half-pipe. Now that's the more dangerous. Oh, what a beautiful flip there.
Just that flip turnaround, knowing somebody's behind you and just instantly taking them out. That's my favorite thing about playing the Rainmaker. It's just you can just do crazy things or just really ridiculous and fun things like that.
They gotta get that knot. The knot goes down, but 2 down on the side of Orange. The Rainmaker's gonna rush it. Looks like the brush is coming in. The baller's coming in.
Ooh.
Oh, the best way to die to a baller. Run over by it. It's like Mario Kart.
Getting crushed by a ball.
Frank is doing some real work though. Look, they just picked up a 7th Splat. They're doing really well in that skirmisher role. Getting in, being distracting, and then popping back out.
Doing a real good job of keeping pain around what the Rainmaker needs to go as well. And it looks like they're just gonna go for it. Obviously they're gonna go down because the shots were pretty particular about where the Rainmaker was. CBS here doing a good job of not going down, but do end up getting taken out by the brush. And Z here just close ranging the Rainmaker with a scope. I feel horrible.
I don't
know. Maybe it's not that bad. To me, I imagine that having to tap shot with a scope is just hard because of the fact that it scopes. Also, holy crap.
Frank is coming in for a flank though. What everybody knows and loves brushes for, the flanking brush, the flanking octo brush. You hate them in solo queue, you love them when they're on your team. Rainmaker does go down though, 2 down on the side of Orange. Another baller coming out. The bomb rush is here. That would be a good insta pop. But it looks like that them exploding off this Rainmaker shield is what killed Frank there. Things are going to get dangerous though. 2 down on the side of Friends. Edgar is going to grab that and move it to the right as far as possible. There's no place to reset it on this map, so they're trying to get it into a really bad position for Orange. And overtime is upon us. 2 down on each side of the field. Frank coming in with the hero play.
Oh no. Frank doing really heavy work that entire game though. It's really nice to see an ink brush, like genuinely.
It is. I mean, they didn't top frag, but they came pretty close, and they got some really good high value kills. So Friends is up 1-0, and we're gonna move on to Splat Zone's Humpback Pump Track.
Oh, what a fun map! And like that's being genuine, honestly.
Who's ready for booyahs?
Right, crap, right. Cause if you have 2 booyahs, you can just booyah the entire zone. Yeah. Ignoring the fact that the entire just OP way of winning this is just by spamming booyah. Honestly, I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I just really like Humpback's map itself because it allows for things like dualies and rollers and everything, and buckets and such, to play around those corners and those rounded edges a little bit more.
Brush is going to have a field day here. Ledge camping weapons, the sloshers, the buckets, the rollers, they're going to have a field day. Blasters, which can shoot over things. On the other hand, you're going to have weapons. Splatlings might not have too much of a hard time here, but other ones like Heavy Will. Chargers, again, it's hit and miss. E-Leader can be pretty decent here on Splat Zones in particular, but a shorter range sniper might have some trouble. It's going to move fast. We might see an Aerospray PG.
But that's in Kraken's dreams, though.
Kraken doesn't like the bronze arrow. So Z is going to stick with that Firefly, but Edgar is going to bring out an E-Leader, which makes me supremely happy because that's one of my favorite weapons. But also, it's very surprising. Frank is going to go down immediately. They swapped over to the permanent ink brush, so they're going to spam double armor with the brush and the junior. No missiles, though. And interestingly enough, the Nautilus on the side of Friends is the baller Nautilus. It's not the one with inkjet.
Holy crap, Alice! Alice, you're just taking out like 2 people in a row with the junior.
Yeah, with the main weapon too, not the bombs.
Yeah, no, not the bombs. It's just the weapon itself. I don't know. That's really good picks for them. That's gonna allow them to hold that zone for a little bit longer. But Orange here is gonna get armor and pop and 2 people are gonna drop and instantly go down. CDS is in their bunker.
That was such a clutch pick from Frank there on the bomb rusher, because that would have kept the zone. Frenzy's going to have to get their missiles out and possibly go in and get a pick, but their armor bot goes down. Meanwhile, on the side of Orange, 2 down on each side of the field. They do have a bomb rush on the side of Orange. Edgar is in a very, very powerful position with that E-leader. He's going to have a hard time reaching him. Meanwhile, you can just pick off anyone there. Oh, good reposition there. It's smart. It gets them out of the range of the E-leader. The E-leader does go down to one of the shooters. A bomb rush coming out now from the fire fin. This is Orange's big chance to move up and get this lockout with that 3-down situation. Good teamwork there from them. Make that a full wipe.
Holy crap! Z gets a kill thanks in part of this bomb rush, but does end up getting a really nice snipe on the opposing team's E-leader.
And that's going to be important. The E-leader is the entire enemy team's biggest range, aside from the Nautilus, which certain members of Orange is capable of taking out. Z's just main job right now is to get that E-leader and keep them busy. Their teammates can handle the other two. Looks like Orange is going to
keep the distracted. Orange here is going to take the lead, but not sure for how long, as we have the Knot trying to make a push over on the bunker, taking out Storm, and then pushing in with that baller and popping and capping zone with the baller's pop.
Yeah, 1 down on each side of the field. Junior going down on the side of Orange. Meanwhile, 2 down now on the side of Friends. Both of the armor members. They're not going to get armor for a while. The Brush does have 69-ish points, give or take, to their special, but that will get them very quickly. 1 down now on side of Friends. Their only Slayer, technically, the Nautilus.
Frank just... Oh, that's... We hate to see it. Frank was trying to go in for a little funny flank there, but Z wasn't really having it.
Yeah, and Z's still not having it, because there Frank goes again.
Oh my god!
There goes the double. Look at the snipes we know and love from Z. And they know where the Knot is, too. Both members of Orange that are watching that Nautilus, the Junior and the Sniper, they know where it is. Alice is going to try and get armor. They're very close to it. They're going to launch it. But Bomb Rush is on the field. It's just going to rip through that armor. Edgar is the only one left alive, and they're not able to cap that zone by themselves.
And that's going to leave the set on a 1-1, so the set's not decided.
Yeah, which of course makes Game 3 so much more exciting and fun.
I mean, we were going to get a Game 3 regardless, but it does make it more exciting and fun and interesting to see who's going to take the set. But both of these teams do definitely benefit from this set regardless.
Yeah, I mean... Which team do you think is going to have the advantage on tower controlling Flat Art Academy, though? I could make an argument for either one.
I mean... I'd like to say that Friends might have a bit more of an advantage here. I suppose depending on if, well, depending on specifically what backlines are put into play on this as well.
Yeah, it's interesting because we don't really have any information on whether or not Edgar is a kind of person that likes to play backline on tower control versus not wanting to play backline on tower control. Z is probably going to go with Charger. Probably the Firefin is my best guess, since with double armor and missiles running around, Stingraying is pain.
I mean, Stingray is also pretty viable because of the tower.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, it can be viable. Just speaking as somebody that has played it, it's pain when the other team has double armor or double missiles, and you always have one on you when you Stingray.
Yeah, I mean, that is completely fair in all honesty.
And even depending on... I would say that it doesn't really depend on what backline as much as how much the players push up. Like, Edgar is going to go back to that NZAP. I think that's smart for him. NZAP is very good and a fast-moving comp on this stage in particular, where you can get a very good lockout, is important. Meanwhile, we do see a swap from the Ink Brush to the Aqua Brush. That specifically is the one with missiles. So we have double missile. Zach is going to get 2 assists there from that armor pop, and he's going to ride the tower while the rest of the members of Warrant are going to try and push up.
It looks like Sakura is going to sit on tower so that Z can push up with the bomb rush. Not sure if that's a permanent thing here. And Sakura is just going to be running the tower the rest of the time. Frank does go down to that inkjet from Q. You know, Orange here doing a really good job of upholding aggression. And Alice here is going right after that tower, making Sakura and Alice have to do a 1v1 against each other. But do we have some backup from Z? Z taking Alice out. But then going down to Frank.
How much the rest of Friends is really pushing up though and helping this push along though. Like Storm is getting up into the face, Q managing to get some good picks, especially with the Inkjets. They're working really hard to keep this push alive, and this is where things get snowbally. A full wipe on the side of Friends, 12 ticks remaining, 2 members on the tower, more going down to those missiles. Game, set, match. Now, as back and forth as the other two were, that was pretty clear-cut and decisive in Orange's favor.
Yeah. I feel like I jinxed it, honestly. Because of Commentator's curse.
I can't lie, that's not how I was expecting it to go. I mean,
yeah, no, I
wasn't expecting Orange to maybe squeak it out, but I certainly thought that it was going to be back and forth.
Yeah, I was expecting a little bit more of a fight from both sides, rather than just a clean cut, alright, let's panic run in, guys, sort of thing.
It's like the parents coming to tell you that your friend has to go home at the end of a play date. Nope, no funny business, it's up. Their parents are here. Say goodbye to the friends.
Instant goodbye.
Yep.
But yeah, no. Orange here did a really amazing job.
Yeah, they really did. They kept up the aggression. They really pushed things.
They really took that momentum that they got from Zone's Humpback and were like, alright, we got this, guys. And just overwhelmed Friends as much as they possibly could. And it was spectacular to watch, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know if we have our next match picked, so we're going to take a very, very short break. We are back finally with Swim or Sink 63. I am Shads, joined by Sky, and for the last match of Nettie's Pools, we have a whole bunch of fun in the form of Horizon Dreams versus Wipeout Punks.
Something I remember seeing on Twitter from Wipeout Punks was that their whole plan was to see if they could get, I think their minimum, or like just like the amount that they expected that they could get was 7 missiles in total.
7 missiles a person, or 7 missiles a minute?
I want to say 7 missiles per person.
That is a lot of missiles.
But I'm just expecting a lot of missiles, and I am terrified because of that. Because, you know, I thought double missile was horrible to deal with as is.
Yeah, I've faced a couple of quad missile teams in solo queue, and it's like,
oh no.
Why? So imagine it coordinated now.
Oh no.
Yeah. I get the feeling that any largely not mobile weapon on Horizon Dream side is going to have a lot of fun, shall we say.
That's one way of putting it. I wonder how... I'm kind of curious how badly it'll actually affect them on Clan Blitz, because they're going to be constantly moving, so...
Well, the good news is that, well, good news for Horizon Dreams at any rate, we only see 1 missile weapon on the side of Wipeout Punks. That, of course, is the case. We have been debated, and everybody out there rejoices.
I mean, I'm glad, but also, I can't believe that, like, I got debated this hard. I'm gonna blame Ian Boy. But, anyways, 2 people are down already on the side of Horizon Dream. And Wipeout Punks is doing really good job here so far of pushing in, popping their missiles here, and just playing pretty safe around, trying to throw clams to stand here, while also being careful of that bamboo.
Incoming Bubbles. Bubbles going to help Stan get that ball close to the basket. No, they whip it though. That is 1 dead ball. Stan is going to pop those bubbles, not able to find, and Captain Happy coming in behind to pick it up and pop that basket. Another brush main. We would like to see the brushes here, 2 down on each side of the field. Make that 3 down now on the side of Wipeout Punks. Raphael is hidden by that basket. It doesn't look like they're going to go back and get those clams that spawned in the little alleyway, though. They're just going to back off.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like this was a pretty good first push for Wipeout Punks here, especially with how they're keeping up with their paint and their aggression and everything. Ian Boy getting another power crim already, and they're just keeping hold of Bridge, which is a really good tactic on this map, no matter the mode.
Bridge is key. You want the bridge. You always want the bridge. If you don't have the bridge, you're probably in a sad situation.
It's currently a 2v2. Ian Boy is going to make sure that that second power clem gets in, and is going to back off because they know that they're outnumbered. And their brush is also going to back out as there's 3 people defending the basket on the side of Horizon Dreams. But looks like Ian goes back in and gets, I think it was 2 clams in more.
Honestly, I can understand why they did that. It was not going to get them a ton of points, but every little bit counts in Clam Blitz. And they were able to do it without doing a full wipe for Wipeout Punks. Happy's gonna come in behind, get a nice double with that brush. More of those scrappy little brush flanks that we love to see and hate to experience. They're not gonna get it. Oh, they do. Somebody comes in to help them, and then they're going to run off, maybe down to the side, go with the car area. Raphael getting a power clam in, not able to find anyone though, and Happy with the flank gets more power clams in. 7 points remaining on the board for Wipeout Punks. If Stan can get just 3 of those little clams on the bridge into that basket, they would have gotten the win right there.
Soko here on the side of Horizon Dream. Looks like the paint on the map it's reversing itself a bit. Vanessa is able to take out Raphael, and gets themselves into another little engagement with Stan, taking Stan out ultimately, and getting their first clam in, but it looks like Happy is going to try and attempt to flank, missing their hits with the slappy little brush that they are, and having to back off out of fear of going down, but they do end up going down anyways, and it is a 3v3 situation, which isn't too horrible.
Honestly, though, it's okay if Stan didn't get a pick there. It's totally fine. They pushed back 2 members of Horizon Green, managed to stop that push dead in the water. For the cost of 20 points, they get a free power clam, which is what Wipeout Punks really needs if they want to get any more points on the board. And they don't even have to worry about building one. Bubbles coming out from the squeezer on the side of Horizon Dream. Not able to find one. A jump coming out. That is going to get into that basket really quickly. And they're going to get the knockout. That huge flank there at the end. It looks like by Stan and Captain Happy got that win for Wipeout Punks. While action was focused over at the other basket.
We love to see that. They debate us with the missiles, but now they debate us by just sneaking into baskets and taking what's theirs.
Yeah, that's what you have to watch out for with a brush, especially on Clam Blitz. If you don't see the brush, it's like, check the basket. Are they by the basket? They're by the basket, aren't they?
And if they're not by the basket, then just watch your back. Yeah.
Watch your back and the sides and in front of you, because if you check the back and the sides and they're not there, they're probably in front of you laughing hysterically because you're paranoid over where the brush is.
Or they're moving around. I think the funniest part would just be you're looking around for the brush and the brush is just moving around as you're like looking around for them, very paranoid about where they are. And they're just cackling because you can't find them, even though they've been moving the entire time.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, though, to see if a brush is going to appear on this stage, though. This is such a huge Rainmaker stage. It's very wide open, it's spread out. It's so big that, honestly, the flanking takes so long on this map that it might not even be worth it.
Flanking on this map, if they can get into there without being seen, it would definitely do some good for them. But I don't see it being very viable. Oh no, there's a C-Jet.
That's not what I'm surprised about. What I'm surprised is to see an E-leader of all things.
I mean, especially in place of a brush, actually.
Not only that, but on Rainmaker. I mean, E-leader... Oh, there's a disconnect.
Whoa.
We have a disconnect. Will we see the on-screen drip pick, everybody?
Will we see the on-screen drip pick? Will Ian Boy do it?
I don't think so.
But because we have a DC at the very beginning of this match, both teams do get a replay here.
Yeah, since it was a member of Wipeout Punks loses their disconnect replay to this.
I mean, at least it happened in pools and not in bracket. But
yeah, I would love to know the logic behind the E-leader pick.
I'm kind of curious to know the logic behind the E-leader pick, because in general, I don't see a lot of backlines really like wanting to play E-leader, and I feel like a lot of that stems from the fact that it's kind of hard to play E-leader.
Not only is it hard to play E-leader, it's also very, very slow.
Yeah.
On a fast-moving game mode like Rainmaker, that's going to make it very difficult to push up effectively with your team. It's also a heavy weapon, so you're not going to move very fast. It can work on some stages. This one, I think they're probably going for the range factor. It's a wide open map. You can hit the enemy street from the snipe with an E-leader. You can't really do that as well with a shorter range charger. But it is very
replay.
An E-leader here.
Well, I mean, because it's a replay, we're gonna see the exact same comps, and so maybe we'll get an idea of why they picked what they picked.
I know, we could be completely surprised. I mean, an E-leader isn't the only unusual weapon pick that you would see on the side of Wipeout Punks. Ian Boyd, this match and last match, was also running the H3D. You used to see that a lot for armor. Nowadays, you see that tossed to the side in favor of the juniors and the NZAPs.
I mean, that is honestly just Ian Boy. Like, you know, I'm not really surprised on that because that's just what Ian Boy is really known for.
Stingray coming out from the side of Horizon Dream. That is one Stingray on the clock. 3 down now on the side of Wipeout Punk's lucky double bomb kill, it looks like. Vanessa's going to pick up that Rainmaker. That's smart. They're the back line. They should be picking it up in this scenario. One member of Wipeout Punks is going to come in through the snipe to clean up that push. 2 down on the side of Horizon Dream versus 1 down on the side of Wipeout Punks. But the members of Horizon Dream do have armor, so they could potentially make this push extend. And they do. They get it all the way down to 17.
Yeah, Horizon Dream just kind of push that until they just can't anymore because Wipeout Punks is just painting everywhere. They're making sure there's no blue in their base at all.
Which is smart. Bomb Rush coming out from looks like that's a Neo Splash that Stan is holding. Excellent Bomb Rush weapon, excellent killing power, great painting power. It's a great all-arounder. Rainmaker is going to get assaulted by that Ray coming out from the side of Horizon Dream. Kara is going to go watch that cut, make sure nobody comes over that canal. They do have bubbles ready, so that can help stop a push through the main street. Looks like Rainmaker has reset, so that's in mid now. Wipeout Punks is going to pick it up. They're going to get points. Kara's going to jump back and get to a good position for those bubbles. It looks like Wipeout Punks has decided to take the Rainmaker to the left. It's the slower path, but also arguably the safer one.
Yeah, I mean, pushing through the streets, it gets you a lot of points really quickly, but it's also a lot harder because you really need a wipe. You need people to be down. I'd argue and say that, like, if you try pushing left, it's also incredibly hard because you have to worry about them focusing left when you're pushing, because I think it's also, not only is it the easier route a lot of times, it's also the more common route. So because it's more common, it's just more expected of a team to push it that way.
Now, 2 did go down on the side of Horizon Dream, so Wipeout Punk's push here has not ended. Raphael is going to try and get a pick on Kira, but the bubble's coming out. Kira's forced to pop 2 of them too early, though, so they're going to be effectively neutralized. 1 down on the side of Horizon Dream. That Rainmaker, though, is getting assaulted like crazy. 2 down on the side of Wipeout Punks as they're going to try and make something happen. Make it 3. Can they get this lead? Yes, they do. They just barely get that lead.
Holy crap.
That is pretty cool to see there. Captain Happy just barely managed to hang on to that Rainmaker for long enough to get it all the way down to 12. And 12 and 17 are both game-winning numbers in this map normally. Usually you do not see it get that far. Things are getting pretty dangerous now, though. Horizon Punks has 3 specials ready. They did launch some missiles. They've got the bubbles ready. They've got the armor pop. Horizon Dream, not Horizon Punks. Rainmaker does go down, so that's going to stop that push. But now they have to be very aggressive. They have to really work hard to get that Rainmaker down to 11 if they want to get this win. 1 down on the side of Horizon Dream. 2 over on the right, 2 on the left. Kira's respawning. It's going to be a good defensive position for them, but they can't really afford to play defense right now. They've got to play offense. They've got to push up. There's only a minute left.
Yeah, now with less than a minute left, a lot of the final moments in Rainmaker here are gonna be who can play the most aggressive while also being safe about that aggression. We see that on the side of Wipeout Punks, they have missiles ready, they fire them, and instantly have a flank on one person on the hill, Splash pushing into mid instantaneously, keeping around that Rainmaker, and just
looks like
waiting for the last several seconds just to grab it seems.
Yeah, which is smart. Really what they want to do right now is they want to pick off that C-Jet bow. The C-Jet is going to get Ray very quickly. They're already 70. 2 down on the side of Horizon Dream, 2 down on Cyber Punks. The only one left alive is the C-Jet, but that is a GG Stingray. They have to get up into that. They do find a C-Jet. That is huge. And they just didn't pick up the Rainmaker. Well then. That is so unfortunate. Oh, Wipeout Punks were in the lead, so they didn't need the Rainmaker. I forgot. Man, I'm commentating the back half of that match like Wipeout Punks was losing.
Wipeout Punk.
The Mandela effect. It even affects Splatoon. It's not just
Yeah.
books and movies anymore.
So Wipeout Punks is gonna... They're gonna take out Game 2 here. They're gonna actually take the set here as well, which is gonna be really good for them going into bracket and everything. However, still play all three for their final round in Nessie's pools. So we're gonna be going on to a Game 3, and it's gonna be zones on Piranha Pit here. And this is definitely still important because it can be the make or break for either of these teams.
Yeah, especially at this rate in the tournament. It's the last match that either of these teams will fight in the pools. This could determine whether or not you get the higher bracket or the lower bracket.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious. Like, I wonder if Wipeout Funks, you know, is gonna pull out the quad missile comp for the final match.
I kind of hope they do.
I think it would be funny after they kind of, like, debated me, but, like... Because I went into this fully expecting, like, a quad missile comp.
Quick, they haven't read it up yet. We can totally go into the chat and be like, yo, play quad missiles.
Yo, Ian boy, don't lie to me.
We won't do that. Really good. But still, it would be funny. It's like back when people started running the Booyah Arrow spray on Humpback zones, and everyone's like, "Oh, will we see the Booyah? Will we see the Booyah Arrow? Will we see the Booyah Arrow?" Everybody loves a meme.
Everybody loves a meme. In all fairness, yeah. Honestly, I'm just in general curious if they're gonna continue playing the more serious comp. Or if they'll pull out those missiles. Or if that missile tweet was a joke and I just made a fool of myself.
Aw, no missiles. But we do see an NZAP 89, I believe, is the orange one on the side of Horizon Dreams. So they have a missile spam weapon.
They have a missile.
On the Wipeout Punks, we have everybody's favorite V-Jet.
Yay.
We love a V-Jet.
Well,
okay, don't lie, it is actually pretty fun to play on Clam.
I don't know, I wouldn't know. I don't play Jet, but honestly, I wouldn't put it past. It does have pretty good range, so it definitely seems like a weapon if you want to play at more of a distance. While also being a little bit of an annoying nuisance.
Start, though.
Yeah, Wipeout Punk's having a really strong start here, just kind of keeping Horizon Dreams stuck in their base. Not really able to get out. Although, I say that.
One down on the side of Horizon Dreams, 2 down now. Wipeout Punks wants blood. They get a third, 2 down on the side of Wipeout Punks, they'll make that 3. So we have a good old-fashioned 1v1. Or we would have if the Jet hadn't died. Vanessa is going to pop their missiles as members of Wipeout Punk come out of spawn. That's going to force people off those high ledges. They do manage to find Captain Happy. Another member of Wipeout Punks is coming in through the drop area. Make that 2, but they're both down. The last one is over there, and they are going to get ganged. They do manage to get a nice pick on the Neo, though. That's a pretty good pick, especially considering that is a decent slaying weapon and a decent tanking weapon.
Honestly, this is definitely interesting to see that Wipeout Punk started this off really dominant, keeping the zone, keeping Horizon Dreams stuck in that base. And now Horizon Dreams is here painting really heavily and taking lead and keeping that zone.
Yeah, 3 down on Wipeout Punks again. Horizon Dreams coming in. Well, to be honest, Horizon Dreams did have a very, very strong start with the Rainmaker game, so maybe this isn't too surprising. Missiles coming out on the side of Wipeout Punk. Bubbles are out. That's going to find one member of the team. Kara getting a nice pick on them. The Spawn Rusher didn't manage to find anyone. They unfortunately go down, and Kira is really pushed up there. They do have a teammate with them, but that is dangerous, especially since they're the only 2 left alive now.
Yeah, 2 people go down on the side of Horizon Dreams. Wipeout Punks is able to secure the zone again. They just have to eat through that penalty before they can worry about getting anywhere near Horizon Dreams' remaining of 18. But I wouldn't really personally worry too much about Horizon Dreams' lead right now, because they also have a bit of a penalty. It's just, I would focus heavily on that zone. Take out anybody in my way as much as possible, and keep up that painting as much as possible. And it looks like, I want to say that was Ian, well, I think it's everybody except for Raphael who's gone down actually now on Wipeout Punks.
Raphael does get a very nice trade, but Kira with that tweezer going to find another one, trying to get some Needle of the Fall off now. This is what Horizon Dream wants now. They just want to keep getting little caps. Even if they can only hold it for a second or two, every little bit they tack onto that penalty for Wipeout Punks puts them closer to winning this match.
It honestly just delays Wipeout Punks from being able to do anything, which is really bad for Wipeout Punks, but also really good for Horizon Dreams here.
Yeah, 2 going down on the side of Wipeout Punks. Kira has those bubbles ready to go. Make that a 3rd down on the side of Wipeout Punks, and they are feeding in pretty heavily. They are staggered like crazy. See the Splash Neo over on the right-hand side trying to pick out a Bomb Rush from the meager amounts of paint that are left over there. They do find one, and it's clean wash, but they're so pushed back that it's not really going to do anything but keep the little mini-ramp area safe. Bubbles coming out from the foil squeezer without that Bomb Rush. There is no chance of them shredding it. Kira going to get the cap for the team. A 3rd one goes down. I think this is probably going to go in favor of Horizon Dream. 2 down on each side of the team. We're at 36 seconds remaining, so things are going to get pretty dicey.
I can't even tell what's fully happening here, because alright, that's alright, because Wipeout Punks was fighting for that zone towards the end, and it was staying neutral for a really long while, so I figured they were gonna get capped.
The beauty of 2 zone maps, even if you have one completely painted, you don't have anything on the objective until both of them are capped, and they had just enough paint not on it to get it capped.
Well, both of those zones were actually neutral, but honestly, Horizon taking game 3 here, I think we've had 2-1 for the winnings for the stream sets for the entirety of the night.
The first one was 3-0, but the other ones were 2-1.
So at least for the final 2.
We're going to take a very short, hopefully, break, and then we'll be back for Great White Bracket.
Hello everyone! My name is Kraken Mare, joined by Shads, who you've already been hearing on the mic. How you doing, Shads?
I'm surviving.
You're surviving?
Whether or not we'll survive the team names is going to be another matter, but...
Yes, for our first round of top... I guess, hold on, before I explain that. Why I'm on the mic, I was told we requested some brush mains, right, Shads? We were talking about you wanted some brush mains?
People want to brush maidens. We have delivered the one, the only Kraken meme himself.
Yeah, I'm just here for a round, and then I will be dipping. But yeah, so I could do production and that. Anyways, on to the match really quickly as we're running through time. Everybody is really quick today. We have ourselves Kilokilopuertorico and Fart Nation in our first round. Shad, anything you know about these two teams?
Well, Kilo, I'm guessing Kilo is probably what they're named after. Kelp, I believe, is the backline. Roundy plays support weapons. I don't know anybody on Fart Nation.
Yeah. Well, we're going to look at the first map here as we are getting ready to start this top 8 match. And we have Tower Control Sturgeon Shipyard as the first map mode. Shads, what are the important parts of this map mode?
Everything. I'm joking.
But what do you think are some of the key
So for
positions
tower
of the map?
control, really what you want to do is you want to control the grates, you want to control the snipe, the left-hand area by the second checkpoint, very, very important. With this map, it's very easy to really push up very quickly, and things snowball so hard after that second checkpoint. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side of the map, you know, where the snipers like to hang out, not necessarily the most important part in tower control. We do see on the field Kilo is running an E-leader. Interesting weapon choice. It can work on this map and mode. I've seen it done before. Respawn Punisher is going to make Fart Nation have a heck of a time if they die to it. The Tri-Monster does manage to pick one. Kilo is also running a Rapid Blaster, which is another great weapon for this map. It can poke at the sniper, it can poke at the grates.
Yeah, I mean, you're perfectly right here,
It's a very,
Shads.
very good weapon.
And you
it's
can
a
see-
great comp to work with. Meanwhile, Fart Nation.
Yeah, you already see Kilo here pushing up already to that first checkpoint, unable to clear just quite yet, but getting one down is huge here, though an Inkjet is going to be out responsive, going to be a hard target, and they do manage to get that Inkjet down, so this will be a push through that first checkpoint, Chads.
Yeah, first checkpoint, very, very important on this map. You get the first one, and then you can get straight to the second one. It's very close by. You have members of Kilo pushing way up to try and get to that second checkpoint cleared. Kilo themselves is going to hop onto that tower, not able to get a pick, but not able to break that checkpoint. That is really unfortunate for them because that makes all those pushes later on so much easier. But 20, great first starting push on this map. 20 can be a game-winning number on this map and mode combination.
Yeah, a really good push, always wanting to get to past that second checkpoint. Of course, that is really that hard choke point, but they managed to get past it, and that's what matters here. We see, though, that they are going to go multiple down, Shads, and this should be allowing a chance for Fart Nation to try to get some points back on the board themselves, and they do manage here about that 3-minute mark, so there's still plenty of time on this match, and if you get a big wipe like that, effective wipe with the jump out, you should be able to clear this first checkpoint.
Yeah, as long as you have 2-3 down, you can clear that first checkpoint easy. You don't even need a full wipe for that. It's the second one that's a lot harder to do. Really, what Fart Nation wants to do is they want to keep the try down, they want to keep the NZAP down. The E-leader, yes, it's threatening, but at the same time, if it whiffs their shots, they're not going to be able to do anything. You see that 2 members of Kilo down, 2 members of Fart Nation down, members jumping in. Not does get a pick. E-leader just barely managing to get that snipe. They're going to get the last jump in, so that is a full wipe on the side of Fart Nation. Delayed, of course, thanks to the stagnation of those jump-ins. Still getting it down to 23. Really, really good.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's really good, and in a lot of matches, that's a potential winning push. You know, that checkpoint, as we've mentioned previously, is such a hard choke point. But in this case, it won't be enough for the victory, but my goal every time I push as a player is to clear 1 checkpoint at a time. And with this map, there's only 2 checkpoints, and Fart Nation managed to clear the first checkpoint. So they have themselves an opportunity to continue this push, well, start a new push, I should say, but it doesn't matter when Kilo themselves are pushing, trying to clear a checkpoint. 2 down on each side here, Shads, and Glizzy is going to go down, and Nico can get the wipe. This will be a chance here for Kilo to potentially get some more points if they can get everybody back in fast enough.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for Fart Nation that the members that they picked were the E-Leader and the NZAP rather than the E-Leader and the NZAP and the Tri, sorry. Those were definitely the bigger threats. Second checkpoint has been cleared. Things are starting to snowball like crazy. Members of Kilo Kilo are going down very quickly. It's the E-Leader that's the only one left alive, and they are going to try and run. They can't escape the fall off from that knot.
Chase making a nice play there, both destroying that torpedo coming and managing to get that kill on somebody trying to back up. Good play there, Chase. We see another one. Trying to get another one, but that sniper is being very smart and not peeking when a Nautilus has a shot locked and loaded. Nautilus, though, super vulnerable. If they can go after this, this can be an effective wipe on Fart Nation. And they do get it, Shads.
Yeah, they do get it. Delayed wipe. Very, very good for Kilo Kilo. It was unfortunate that when the Nautilus popped their rank jet, almost immediately the team went 3 down, and then the Naught just couldn't jump out because they were stuck in their special. Members of Kilo Kilo are pushing up. Nico is going to pop that armor and then move up on the left-hand side to try and get a miniature flank off, or at least try and prevent anybody from Fart Nation flanking. One down on the side of Fart Nation. One down on the side of Kilo Kilo, though. Make that 2 as time is ticking away. We have 6 seconds left on the clock. This is probably going to go into overtime, and Nico is in a really good spot for a flank here. A try can be deadly on the most sinners. I don't think they know that he's there. He gets 1. He gets another one off the tower. Armor just bumped them straight off.
Yeah, that was really good there. That's why I quickly went, all right, we're going to camera right to Nico, because we knew that was what was going to happen, and they perfectly played it there, Nico, on the Tri-Slosher, getting that game-saving effect, or 2. Well, he got 1, but in the tower, and that's really what matters. So good job there by Nico, and the rest of Kilo Kilo taking that game 1, Shads.
Yeah, aside from the one really big push from Fart Nation, that game was pretty dominant by Kilo Kilo. We're gonna move on to Clamplets Mako, though.
Clamplets Mako. I mean, it's a map that most people like, so it isn't that weird, at least. A pretty common map to have, Shads, and I think we highlighted this one earlier, I believe, with you and Sky earlier, correct? I believe we had this one?
Yeah, we did. We had it on Heaven's Moonlight versus Legato.
Heaven's Moonlight versus Legato. So yeah, that would have been what, round 1, I believe?
Yep, all the way back in round 1, 2 hours ago.
All the way back in round 1. So I think going over the key points that I would like to point out for everybody at home, the stacks in this map are the most important parts to control. You control the stack, you control the clam economy. Even if you can't necessarily push when controlling the middle, or just the stacks, it definitely allows you to collect what is most important, which is the objective, and then find that opening where you can get 1 or 2 down and go for that push.
And the stacks are key. You want to get the stack. You want to pick any long-range members off of those stacks, because if they're on the stack, they will control most of the map. Teams loading in. We see Fart Nation. Looks like Fart Nation is running the same comp. Kilo Kilo is running almost the same comp, but just going to have a 1 swap from E-Leader to Firefin, which is smart, you know? I mean, you don't want to run an E-Leader in Clamplets. This is not S1 where E-Leader had Kraken and killed everything that breathed at it funny.
Yeah, remember those days.
Actually, I don't. I didn't play E-Leader in S1. But that's neither here nor there. Health is going to have the power clam, trying to get somebody in so they can get a jump in, or maybe run that clam in 2 down on the side of Fart Nation. That power clam is going to bust that basket, so Kilo Kilo is going to start chipping away at their point total. Nico's going to come around on the left-hand side, pick off somebody with that Tri-Slosher. Looks like they're going to go for that knot. Not sure if they're going to be able to get that fight to win. Getting double teamed now. Yeah, there they go. Back to spawn for you, Tri-Slosher.
That Tri-Slosher's done pretty good, though, thus far. They already have themselves 3 KA. Not a bad start, and we saw right off the bat, they managed to get one which helped open up this push for their team. And oh man, already down to 35 remaining, Shads. I mean, what a really good opening push within the first minute-ish.
that is strong, that is dominant. It's exactly what you want from a first push in Clan Blitz, because it's not just a blow points-wise, it's a psychological blow. It's knowing that the enemy got it all the way down to 35. It's knowing that they managed to extend the push for so long. Oh, that is a great inkjet shot there from, looks like...
Chase again on the Nautilus.
Chase.
They have
Chase has done
consistently...
some work with that knot. They have really
been,
good
in both
inkjet
games.
shots.
In both games, they've done a lot of work, Shad, and already doing some more work here, trying to find an opening for their team. The big thing, though, is occasionally they've got themselves in trouble because they've been very aggressive with it at times, especially the Inkjet, or, you know, in a little bit of awkward spots trying to get something out of nothing. But at the same time, when they're working, it is popping off, and they have another pick on the board, and they have that Inkjet ready, and here it comes, Shads.
Yeah, Inkjet taking to the skies. Looks like Chase is going to see if they can get a pick on that sniper before the sniper can get them. Which honestly is smart. It's just right for the Inkjet. Wipeout going down on the side of Kilo. That's a really good pick. Sniper is almost a bomb rush, so that's going to be key for defense as well as armor. So the armor is ready. They're going to let Spartan Nation get the ball in, which I think is smart. You don't want to feed in to the push, and that gives time for the bomb rush to come out and basically get that entire pit area neutralized. Members of Spartan Nation are going to come in with more clams, but they're a little bit staggered now. 2 coming down, 1 coming around on the left, picking up some clams. They're going to get more points on the board, down to 45, now 44-ish. But it's going to not do enough to get them that lead, and really kudos to Kilo for playing that patiently rather than feeding in a panic.
Yeah, 56 points, not a bad push by any means, and it sets yourself up in position where if you open up the basket again, it will actually bring you into the lead. It'll take you down to 32 remaining, if I can math quickly in my head here. So they just need 2 balls in, though they are going to get a pity if they can hold the KO here, though it does look like Kilo has a lot of clams. They just aren't executed. There we go, Shats.
Yeah, one is going in. Looks like it was the rapid push in. Other members of Kilo a little bit scattered. One came across the top, whipped the box, and got the knockout for Kilo.
Yeah, a little bit hard to see with that camera angle. I guess I could have switched it personally, but
it's the unfortunate thing about how big the clam basket is. It blocks everything.
They just came in there at the top. I didn't realize they even had enough there for the lead, and they managed to go ahead and... Or sorry, not the lead, just the KO, Shad, which is more impressive than just taking a lead in Clan Blitz. It can be quite difficult to knock out in Clan Blitz at times, and a map like this where most players know what they're doing, quite a fantastic job there by Kilo.
Yeah, so we move on to Rainmaker Manta Maria, and it's do or die for Fart Nation. They lose one more, they're out for the week. This could be a swing map for them, though. It could be the start of a good turnaround.
I would point out, Chad, it's 2 weeks. Next
2 weeks, right.
Yeah.
Right. Next week's our break week. Gotta give the TOs a day off.
So it wouldn't be 1 week they're out. They're out for 2 weeks. That's worse. You don't want to get knocked out for 2 weeks.
You don't want to get knocked out at all. You want to win. I kind of want to see a sploosh on this map. Hammer sploosh can be so deadly in the street. Granted, Slosher can also be deadly because they could just sit on the other side of the wall and toss ink over and kill people for fun.
You know, Shad, it was exactly what I was thinking. You thought what I was thinking, which is go for that hammer sploosh. In the street, it is so good. It can more or less clear it out single-handedly if played right. And I've seen many splooshes here in SOS and on my own team. You know, shoutouts to Brian, who has played sploosh on this map mode. And
we're not going to see a sploosh.
Damage.
But I would like to draw everybody's attention to the weapon that Kung Fu Panda is holding. It is the one, the only Grim Range Blaster. That is something you don't see a lot.
No, it is not, but the Burst Bomb combo goes really well with the main weapon. The biggest problem is it just doesn't paint very much, so you have to have that support from your team, or you have to be making sure you are getting those kills yourself. If you're not doing one of those two, you are basically throwing by holding that weapon. Not giving yourself any opportunities. And finally, Shads, we do see some movement here in mid with the objective.
Yeah, with missiles coming out from the aforementioned Grim Range as the Rainmaker goes over to cut 2 down on the side of Fart Nation to make that 3 down on the side of Puerto. So with Fart Nation's comp, they have an NZAP, they have a K-Shot, they have a Neo Splash. That is a ton of paint. The Grim Range is not going to have a fun time.
Yeah, I mean, as much paint as the rest of Fart Nation, or sorry, excuse me, as Kilo is going to push out, because those other weapons aren't bad in painting by any means, but when you have 4 painting weapons versus 3 painting weapons, yeah, that's a tough matchup, and especially if they get basically wiped here twice, and Balloon is going to be able to just quickly push with this Rainmaker Shad and get the lead.
Bomb Rush and Inkjet working very hard to clear out the area by kilokilopuertorico's mass. Balloon is going to be down in the pit, going for the knockout. Not able to find it, but down to 8. 8 is really good. Grim Range getting a beautiful direct there on one of the members of Fart Nation. They're going to go find the other one if they can get up this wall. Looks like maybe they've been retreating into mid. Missiles on the line and going to pop out. Looks like a quad lock for the blaster, which is going to be very important to call out enemy positions. Beautiful direct right there. NZEP goes down, lost the armor, assist there. That's 2 down. If they can get a third, this will make it a really good position for Kilo to make a push.
You know, we talked about having the paint from your team right there. That was really good teamwork. You saw the couple members there of Kilo working with the blaster getting a couple picks, and then getting an assist there when the rest of their team using the burst bomb to combo with it, which, you know, is actually what Grim naturally has, so it already has proven that it can combo with it, and then, you know, from your teammates not having to eat up your own ink tank. Always useful to have teammates just in general.
Kilo is running a lot of burst bombs. 3 of their weapons have it. The Tri has it, the C-Jet has it, the Blaster has it. Not a lot of lethals. You don't really see that on Rainmaker. Of course, Blizzy is going to use that bomber to try and flush out any members of Kilo that are hiding. Looks like the Tri was. More burst bombs coming down into the pit now. 2 down on the side of Kilo. Blizzy's going to go in for a little flank through the street, see if they can pick anybody off behind it. C-Jet goes down. Grim is in trouble. Gets sandwiched between the 2 shooters on the side of Fart Nation, and that is going to be it for that push.
Nico's chilling here in mid, though. Got a burst bomb on the Rainmaker. Not able to successfully get the kill with the follow-ups, but they're still behind and causing a nuisance here, and I don't think they know that they're there, Shads. And they get one off that.
Inkling. They do get one, but I think that they knew that the Tri had to be over on the right-hand side by the cut. And honestly, if somebody's by the cut, it's a 50-50 whether or not they're going to flank into the street/bunker area.
Yeah, especially with the Tri-Slasher, honestly, that's like a 70-30. and they're proving it again, Shads, by going for the flank for another time in this game. But they're really separated from their team. Their team members finally are starting to catch up, but they just don't have control of this street right now. And they aren't going to go anywhere with the Rainmaker, if that's the case.
Yeah, the Tri goes down. Louie is going to go into the bunker. The Grim Range does come into the bunker to try and harass them a little bit. Louie does manage to pick off the Rainmaker and go down into mid. Looks like they're going to try and get a pick on that C-Jet, which is important. The C-Jet is going to generate rays very fast, and that is going to be GG's rays for later that you don't want to kind of avoid.
Good missile save by this shot. Something that we don't really talk about a lot on stream, at least I haven't heard in a while, is somebody point out, you know, occasionally save your missiles for something like a Stingray if you know they have something like a C-Jet. Popping those missiles on them mean that they're going to cut their ray in about half because they're going to have to move around to avoid missiles that are on them. So cutting their ray in half usually means that you can start healing yourself, you know, especially if, let's say, you have the Rainmaker in your hands, or you know, just able to avoid it for a little bit longer. Make that your team and your own survivability much higher from a ray. And oh my god, that C-Jet has another ray.
Yep, classic C-Jet, another ray. But Kilo is not able to pick up that Rainmaker in time. One of the benefits, well, not benefits if you're Kilo, but for Fart Nation. Last person in mid stuck in a ray, they're not going to get to that Rainmaker. They will die before they get there. You are so slow moving when you're holding that thing.
Yeah, it's tough to play objective and also play Ray at the same time. You just gotta hope your teammates can jump in there and get there fast enough. They were unable to do so. So we're gonna go to a solid game 4 here, Shads. After those first 2 games, I'm glad to see that we are at least gonna be going to game 4.
Yeah, but this is gonna be interesting. So, Kilo does have a dedicated backline. Splat Zones, Inkling Art Academy, if you get a charger up on that center tower, they can hit pretty much the entire forward part of the plat. If it's an E-leader, they can hit part of the back part too, and that is really scary.
Yeah, E-leader up top is very scary, especially a really good one. Honestly, you don't even have to be a good E-leader. You will scare a lot of people just by seeing a laser in your direction. That
you could dress up in a clown suit, party on top of the tower, and I don't know, like squid flop at the people on plat to try and get you to join them, and they will hide because they don't want to go near the laser.
Yeah, as long as you're throwing out a laser while you're doing all that stuff, they will be scared because they never know when that laser is going to connect with them and make them go back to that respawn panel. That is a scary position to be in. I have been there. Even something like an Explo, a Hydra, or as you mentioned, a regular charger. All of those things have so much range and put so much pressure on a plat and allow their team to have a somewhat safe area on your plat. So it's not just the backline that's effectively pressuring you. Usually the entire team is also there.
Yeah, another one that you didn't mention, Dynamo. Dynamo on top mid is pretty scary. You can't get the entire of the plat like you can with other anchor weapons, but you will paint a lot of the zone in the drop area. We do see the Kilo is going back to that E-leader, which I like to see. Meanwhile, on the side of Fart Nation, no changes. I think Kelt was running an NZAP last match and they swapped over to a junior, so a little bit more armor stand, which is going to be important. So the members of Kilo, their only Slayer weapon really is the blaster. I mean, Tri can act as a Slayer, but with the kit that it's got, it's kind of a hybrid Slayer support. They want to keep armor for that blaster. One down on the side of Fart Nation, make that 2. Rain is out on the side of Kilo. You've got members trying to charge armor. You've got members painting up the side, trying to flush out any members of Fart Nation that are hiding. Armor is getting popped by Kelp, and they are going to try and maybe get up onto this plat, which you want to see. You want to get that lockout.
I mean, you mentioned that Tri-Slusher is a hybrid. In this case, the way Nico plays it, they definitely play it a lot more aggressively. So I think this one is more of that aggressive style, and we saw them with the multiple flanks in the last game, for example. And as I'm saying that, multiple go down on both sides. Just Chase alive here on the side of Fart Nation, deciding to jump out, electing that is probably the safer option, keeping themselves alive, keeping about half charge on that Inkjet, able to at least try to maintain some of their own plat before the opponents can get there, and they managed to also assist on a pick there.
Yeah, getting that blaster down is crucial, but the E-leader is up on top mid, and they don't have missiles to chase it off like other teams normally do.
Oh, they do. They have the K-shot.
Oh, they do.
They just popped it. They actually just popped it for that matter, and they managed to get multiple picks off that with the Junior and the Blaster going down. Balloon trying to get another pick, not able to get that sniper rifle. The Tri-Slusher going to save the sniper's life with one shot before the NZAP would have gotten that pick. Nico able to push the opponents back, but the sniper does eventually die, Shads.
Yeah, the sniper going down is huge because of that pressure that we talked about earlier, but the other members of Kilo are no slouch. They do have a lot left on their penalty, but they're also doing a good job of keeping that zone there. If one member jumps out, one member goes down, so the zone probably will swing in favor of Fart Nation. Another one goes down as well. Kilo's on the left-hand side, which is kind of an awkward spot for snipers. You can get top mid, but you can't get a lot of the zone that you can from Attic or Plat.
You're right on that, Shaz, but they are just doing for pressure, and you saw them actually get a hit there. They're one of their early shots on somebody with armor, and the bane of sniper rifles or anything else that one shot is that armor. Just like, really, I just made a nice shot for nothing. Because especially with no team there to follow it up.
So it depends on how much main power up actually that Kilo is running. With enough main power up, I believe I run a main and 2 subs, and I can do 180 damage in one shot. So if you do actually have prior damage on you before that ink armor, it's gonna kill you. So it really depends on his
point out that there's multiple down situation, and this game's about to KO if we don't have to see a change here. But Nico and team push up.
We're going to see a change, yes, in time, yes, case, but that is a huge penalty on Fart Nation.
Yeah, huge penalty. Both sides actually having a really large penalty, because both teams managed to have one really good push thus far, swinging it back and forth. So you know, there was Kilo eating over a 40-point penalty, almost a 50-point penalty themselves, and it gives plenty of time for Fart Nation to regroup and take a fight, but it doesn't look like they really got a good play on that as Nico gets a triple, and that's really rough.
Beautiful triple there. Yeah, that is rough. Goal down. This is going to hurt. Fart Nation has no chance to charge their specials. They pretty much have to run in without them. Armor is out. That's going to be dangerous. One member going onto the harassing that little tarp area. They're not going to try and get it to try, but with the armor, just barely. That clutch bomb there at the end. It looks like the splash was bomb rushing, and they just barely managed to get that cap.
That splash, along with the rest of their team, of course, attempting to paint, right? The bomb rush from the splash just came in clutch and gave Fart Nation a chance to hang in there on this game. And if it wasn't for that, there was probably a good chance that there was going to be a quick cap back and a loss here, as we kind of saw that Kilo got the map back pretty quickly. But now, again, they have a massive penalty to work through again, Shads. Another and basically 50-point penalty. 3 down again, yes.
They only have to cap the zone once.
You're right.
Only
they've kept
one.
About once here, about 10 seconds remaining here, especially once we get to overtime. They will be a cap once, but one goes down the splash. They will not have bomb rush this time, Shads.
That is going to be two going down, 3 going down. That is a wipe. That is it. Kilo. Nico with the hero save there at the end with the quad.
Nico coming in clutch again. If it wasn't for that bomb rush last time, we already would have saw Nico clutch it. Because Nico got a triple there, but the bomb rush got it. And then Nico again like, all right, well, one triple wasn't enough. Well, I'll just get another one. And they managed to do so, Shads. And they have themselves another triple, and this time for the game winning.
Yeah. So we'll say goodbye to Fart Nation for now. Kilo moving on to the next round. But I do believe that we here are done, Kraken. For us, anyways. Well, yeah. I am. You still have to stream.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just here for a round on mic, so. Shads, where can the people find you?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably on a snipe somewhere on, I don't know, Mako Mart or something. You can find me on Twitter. It's at ShadowDragon42. I stream on Twitch at IV_Shads_. You've probably seen me in the chat. And then Sky had to go, but you can find Sky on Twitter as well at Sky the Demon.
Yes.
Kraken, you have to plug yourself. It's the law.
Yeah, I said, don't make sure to go follow Sky. Unfortunately, they had to leave here for this last one, so that's why I'm here. But yes, I am at KrakenMare77. I almost said 75. I don't know why. I've been 77 for how many years? Anywho, you can find me there. You're going to find me at IPL stuff. I exist. I'm always around. All right, love y'all. So yeah, we'll be right back here with a commentator swap. We'll have Vapor and Skepodillions on the mic, Shads.
Oh my gosh, we get Vapor and Skep. The Vapor and the Skep. I'm so excited.
Stay tuned for the top 4 and grand finals.
Hello everyone, prepare for trouble and make it double. My name is Skep and I am here with the wonderfully talented Vapor. Together we are IPL's biggest troublemakers and Triggerfish Zone's enthusiasts. How are you tonight, Vapor?
I'm trying not to laugh here, but I am doing amazing. Well, let's start it off with our top 4 of Great White Bracket, the Apex Legends, against the team we just saw got a very good win, Puerto Rico.
Indeed, Apex Legend, a very, very strong team in their own right. Judging by the bracket, they did just defeat. They actually had a bye last round. So Kilokilopuertorico is the only team going into top 4 having had a match in round 1. So Apex Legends, they've had a little bit of a break moving forward into this set. But Kilokilopuertorico, we saw them pop last round, and they are warmed up and they are ready to go. There's nothing like that 3-1 set to keep you on your toes because you're winning, you're in a great mindset, but also like you're on your toes because your opponents took a game off of you. So I am expecting some greatness out of Kilokilopuertorico coming into the next set. They are awake and alert.
Yeah, I'm excited for this as well. Starting off, Clam Blitz, Humpback, Pump Track. I don't know about you, but let's get right into this game on Slosher Heaven right now.
Slosher Heaven, indeed. I do see Nico Chico on that roster for Kilokilopuertorico. This does look like a campfire blended pickup type situation. So, perhaps seeing my lovely favorite Bloblobber come out, if I'm very, very lucky. No! Nico bringing out the vanilla Tri-Slosher for that bucket action, and Kilo, the signature member of that team, I suppose, bringing out the Fire Fin.
Yeah, and with that rapid going down quickly, that's going to be an early 3 down on Kilokilopuertorico, leaving that Zap last one alive. April on this mini, trying to keep pressure, is going to get that delayed wipe, finish it off, but everyone else from Kilokilopuertorico already coming in. April popping these missiles here as well, targeting the few on that right side, but very neutral right now. Apex Legends currently in control of mid, but gotta be careful of that Tri-Slosher.
They were able to put up substantial pressure and keep Kilo back into the street, but unfortunately going 2 down. And here we see April turning that around, getting 2 picks on the members of Kilo, and now going to be able to push up with some specials and get them to jump out. We do see Nico coming into window and trying to position for some defense here. 1 member down going on the side of Apex Legends, make that 2, and Kilo is very quickly turning this game around. This is a very scrappy control for mid right now. Neither team having a solid grasp, but Kelp is going to try and push in here.
Yeah, try and push in, does decide to pull back a little bit as there was a lot of fire from Apex Legends shooting right in front of that basket. But with that charger going down on the side of Kilokilopuertorico, Kelp able to find the pick on the end zap, but gets shot down by Bandit from on that scope from the side of Apex Legends.
Bandit is an absolutely terrifying Charger player. Unfortunately for both of these teams, it does look like Apex is preparing for a push. However, clamp spawns on this map mode are very, very wacky. If you're constantly going 1 or 2 member down, it's going to be very difficult to maintain strong clan economy just based off of where those spawns are. And we are seeing that happen to Apex Legends right now. They did have 17 clams, but they are quickly reduced to 0 with their K-Shop in mid having coming out of spawn. Very quickly put into a risky situation against 2 members of Kilo, but trying to forward it up, trying to out-mechanic, and it absolutely does pull that off. That K-Shot, oh my lord, they are popping off.
Yeah, coming off with the quad, make that 5, and looking for more. Here comes missiles before they get shut down by the Tri-Slosher using that burst bomb. Able to take out 2 members of Apex Legends, make that 3, leaving the mini splatling. Last one alive, back up into the corner, trying to take him out with the burst bomb, unable to, but trying to get control back here in mid high point on the map. You can see basically anything from there. But going down to a stray splatter scope shot.
Yeah, Apex Legends absolutely had an opportunity to dunk there. That K-shot was in position, but it really just goes to show. Ooh, excellent shot from Bandit there. Another very clean. There is no way, bro. Oh my god. Wait, is he gonna get the quad? Oh my god. No, not quite. It is going to have to fall back from that pressure from that Kenza Rapid, but jeez Louise, Vapor. What a triple.
Yeah, Bandit popping off here really quickly. Already with 12k A on the board right now. But look at this K-Shot making some advanced maneuvers right now. Able to find the pick on the Zap as well. Bringing the score down to 62 remaining. But the K-Shot is still around on that backside. Getting one more clam into that basket. Leaving April on this main smiling last one alive. Not in the best position, at least compared to that Tri-Slosher, able to back up freely.
Yeah, that did make me a little nervous because one of the big points with this map mode is how difficult it is to get control of clams in order to facilitate a decent amount of push. Right? Because everybody's in mid, everybody's constantly fighting, trying to just dog and get control of mid, but that is so difficult if you're constantly going one or two down, which is the nature of humpback clams. So in order to push in, you really do have to have control of a lot, and when you do dunk, if that is just a single dunk and you do risk a lot for it, you're gonna go 3 or 4 down, and then you just give your opponents a power clam, which in this situation, given how difficult it is to form that power clam to begin with, it can be a huge advantage for your opponents. And so I'm very glad that Apex Legends did manage to get that with one alive and fall back in order to maintain strong presence.
Yeah, but with that scope going down on side of Apex Legends, me going down, that's 3 down. Kilo trying to push in right now, having a few more clams coming in from mid, and they take that lead. Kilokilopuertorico coming up here in your top 4 set with game 1.
Absolutely phenomenal final push from them there. Very, very sudden. Hit Apex Legends right in the jaw. Was that overtime, Vapor?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was overtime.
Oh my goodness. Way to go, Squiddos.
Yeah, and just like that, continuing dominance from the last set we see here, but now we're going to Rainmaker on Muscle Forge Fitness.
Speaking of volatile map modes, my goodness, this is quite possibly the top volatile map mode of all time, right? It's so easy to just get in there and push through that right side, which traditionally is where most people are going to be pushing in from. I think I'm gonna see Bandit on a Jet here. V-Jet, it can be very, very dominant here. If you're gonna pick a charger, I don't know which one it would be on Muscle Forge, given that there are so many places for opponents to hide in trenches and on walls. But then again, I'm not a cracked charger player like Bandit, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are as good as Bandit with charger. We both play sloshers after all. So, seeing the stage for us, honestly, amazing.
Yeah.
This is also a very good slosher map, but for backlines in general, not the best. It is one of the smaller maps in the game, and Rainmaker being such a fast-paced mode, seeing a backline here would be honestly pretty huge if you can get control.
I mean, but if there's anybody who could do it, it would be Bandit, right? Like, that's what you would expect. I am still rooting for the Nico Chico blah blubber. Like, please.
Hopefully, maybe this would be the place we would see it, though. Rainmaker Muscle Forge Fitness, here comes that V-Jet, and no blah blubber.
Grim Range from Kung Fu Panda, just like the last set, which is a very, very, very spicy pick. We are seeing double OBS on both sides, but the green side, Apex Legend, is running double stealth. Apex the first to pick up the Rainmaker, but that Rainmaker is going to very quickly go down and shift control of mid to Kilokilopuertorico. They also have Ray online, which is going to facilitate whatever push they do make. Putting up a lot of pressure onto their roof. Kilo is shifting right.
Yeah, and with this Stingray from the C-Jet, unable to find a pick, Rainmaker pushing, but that's going to be a quick 3 down on the side of Kilo, forcing that C-Jet to just play for control right now, and gets a jump from that Grim Range.
Look how quickly Apex Legends has control of mid and is able to put up a lot of pressure. We do see Kilo popping one of those armors, but they are going to go one down. Octane over there on the right, very quickly flushing out that Grim Rage, shredding Kilo's defense. They do have to deal with that Ray, but once that Ray's expired, you know, that's an easy push down the right side. They are shifting in that direction. Two members right next to the Rainmaker that is going to enable them, but Nico coming in for the right flank, trying to get a pick on that Inkjet, and they might be able to do it, instead opting to fall back because they do get the pick on that poor Tri-Slasher.
Yeah, but the Nautilus comes in with that Inkjet, trying to find members, but going 2 down on each side, make that 3 down, leaving K-Shot last one alive on the side of Apex Legends. This is time for Kilo to take back control mid, try to open up a push, and also try to stagger the members of Apex Legends here.
Staggered indeed, a 2v2 situation with a very, very minor lead in favor of Apex Legends. Kilo does have that Ray and armor online, two very important specials for facilitating a push. Apex Legends is well prepared to defend. We do see those two members teaming up together on bridge, maintaining excellent pressure on mid. Apex Legends 2 down though, and Kilo 4 up as they pick up the Rainmaker. Excellent jump out from the Junior, but is going to be caught in it. Kelp right there squeaking by and taking the lead right out from under him.
Yeah, and they're looking for more points. Here comes Missiles as well, able to get 1, 2 down on the side of Kilo, make that a full wipe. And Apex Legends grabbing that Rainmaker very quickly, pushing up as far as they can safely.
To anyone who plays competitive Splatoon knows, Rainmaker, Muscle Forge, 42 remaining is not a push worth feeling safe over. We do see Apex Legends pushing in. They do get the pick on the Grim Rage. Octane, they're trying to smoke out that other remaining member, but they are armored, so whatever fight they do end up picking, they are going to have a little bit of trouble. Just Sharking, they're trying to get some control of mid. It does look like Kilo does have a very, very strong defense in this situation, but as I say that, the Grim Range goes down, the K-Shot follows shortly after.
Yeah, but Apex trying to look to sneak a few points here, Bandit on this Rainmaker, but you gotta keep an eye on Nico trying to push up, is able to get to pick on the Rainmaker. Kung Fu getting a huge double as well, leaving that K-Shot last one alive in mid. If they can find this K-Shot, which they do, they can be in a very good position right now. Even though it's not the best lead, they are still in a huge position with map control and having missiles ready.
That Grim Range has 13 KA, which is in the lobby right now. Absolutely insane pop-off from that blaster, getting that nice little perfect aim moment on that K-Shot in order to secure Kilo's control of mid there, but Apex Legends is outpainting them in this situation. We do see Kilo struggling to keep paint down in mid as they are in a 3v3 situation. Ooh, 2 down on the side of Apex Legends in the final 40 seconds of a game. Make that 3 is going to make it very, very difficult for them to push. As that blaster starts shifting right, you gotta keep an eye on that squid because they are gonna be in your hair for the rest of this game.
Yeah, definitely 2v2 situation right now. That Rainmaker did just fall down and dropping, but Nico here, Sharking, trying to find a pick right now. Hoping to get the Nautilus, it looks like. Does end up dropping, does pick off that Nautilus too down on the side of Apex Legends, and with 3, 2, 1, that is going to be game in favor of Kilo.
Those final moments with Nico Sharking right next to Bunker absolutely had me very, very, very scared because they were being shot at like they had like the tiniest speck of paint. Like I was so certain they were dead any second, but to be able to take that extreme risk situation and use that moment to drop in on that Nautilus, very, very, very impressive play from Nico there.
Yeah, definitely, and with those two maps out of the way, and modes even, probably the most Slayer-heavy modes out there, Now to Wahoo Zones, a little bit more laid back, very much more laid back than Rainmaker, but you still have to keep that same mindset of map control and paint control.
Yeah, we saw this map mode much earlier in the tournament. It was round 1 with Heaven's Moonlight versus Legato. And in that instance, we saw Heaven's Moonlight get locked out, and Legato was able to score that to like below 45 remaining. And it was looking pretty shaky for Heaven's Moonlight, right? But that is the thing with Wahoo World. It's so easy to get locked out and just very crushed by paint volume to keep you out. But you just gotta play it calm, play it collected, and go in at the same time. And any situation can turn around in Wahoo. So don't be surprised if we see a very strong opening push and that flips in somebody else's favor.
Yeah, this is also a very lockout-heavy map, so I am not surprised to see an E-leader with Respawn Punisher on both sides. And quad LDE from Apex Legends as well. So if Kilo gets under 50 remaining, that LDE is going to start to push through.
Yeah, very surprising to see a Respawn punishing E-leader on both sides of the game. One member down going on the side. Make that one member on each side as Apex Legends maintains control of mid. I would add, it does look like Kilo does win this paint battle, getting 3 members down on the side of Apex and now getting their first hold on that zone. And judging by the way Nico is painting up with that splash, this could very well be a good lock. So Apex Legends is going to have to take their time working in and figure out how they want to approach this.
Yeah, but Nico is here trying to find the pick, but Octane coming in clutch, able to find that pick. Here comes those missiles as well. Pushing into the zone will neutralize and get that flip, taking out the Junior as well for one of their teammates. And trying to push onto the splat as well. Rapid goes down in front. But this is a good chance for Apex Legends to take control as everyone of Kilo is backed up right now.
Yeah, Apex Legends, I would like to shout out that player, Octane, burning like some very high octane gasoline and getting up there and just simply out-mechanicking on that splash. We do see Apex Legends is maintaining solid control here with 3 minutes left in the game and 30 ticks. Ooh, and just as I say that, Commentators Curse, that is a delayed wipe on Apex Legends as kilokilopuertorico takes control of that zone. Now they have a lot of paint to work up.
Yeah, definitely. And with this baller ready as well, that can definitely slow down the push. And with a rapid, could peek out some pesky chargers from the side of Apex Legends too. So you gotta be careful of that baller ready as well. But it goes down to a suction bomb by that K-Shot as K-Shot goes down to the splash. But in the meantime, the zone flips in the favor of Apex Legends.
Yeah, and they do manage to get the pick on that leader that was falling back and then very quickly following up on the jump. So kilokilopuertorico is going to have some time before all members are back in action. We do see that Nico Chico does manage to get a cap with their teammate Kung Fu Panda on that blaster. Halfway to a bomb rush and 4 down on the side of Apex Legends. I do see Kilo being able to clear their penalty points here. It does look like they are going to be able to squeak by this lead here, but it is anybody's game. This is a very tit-for-tat Splat Zones Wahoo game, honestly. It's unusual to see the zone flip back and forth so much.
Yeah, definitely. But here comes specials from both sides, but the armor trying to hold on. Still very neutral right now on the zone with 2 down on the side of Kilo. Leaders coming from spawn. Junior gets shut down with that leader being last one up.
That leader is going to have to fall back or jump back. I do think Bandit knows that they're there. The blaster is there. You saw their shot peek through Bandit's scope. 20 penalty points remaining, and they do have those missiles online and ready to go. 1 member down on the side of Kilo, but thankfully it is their least paint positive member, so at least they're going to be able to paint up and work their way into that zone. Apex Legends have cleared their penalty points. Those missiles do come online as they try and fight off the impending Kilo invasion. Oh, and only the splash is up and they're out of position. They're going for a flank. Apex Legends doesn't know they're there.
Yeah, and not knowing that the splash is there, that could be very dangerous, but the Mini able to come in, get a stray burst bomb off, finding that splash, delaying and heavily staggering Kilo right now. With the lead and penalty points going down, they are in a good position for Apex Legends.
Indeed they are, but 2 members down as Kilo pushes in. It does look like they are going to be able to cap here. That E-Leader putting up a lot of paint pressure from their plat. Kelp, oh man, look at that speed, swimming to the other side of the zone to avoid the leader shot. They are going to be shut down with some high octane pressure there from that K-shot. 11 seconds, 10 seconds left in the game as Apex Legends does take back control of the zone. The question is, are the members of Campfire positioned in the right place to be able to fight this? And the answer is no! Game 3 is going to go to Apex Legends on Splat Zone's Wahoo.
It isn't over yet. They are going to try to look for this reverse sweep now. Bandit on that leader just kept a lot of pressure across. And even though they got 7 kills right there, they still kept so much pressure where it was hard for the members of Kilo to push in even.
Such an interesting dichotomy. Apex Legends very strongly defending and pushing in at the right times, and the zone just flipping back and forth. A very evenly paced game, and you know, we saw the Rainmaker Muscle Forge game, and that was also very evenly paced, right? And Kilo had one very, very strong push that was what enabled them to take the lead there. And then on the Clams Humpback game, that also, like, that was won in overtime. So in terms of evenly matched, I think this is going to be a very, very fire end of the set, as we do see that Apex Legends, the Apex Legends, has their backs to the wall. They have to win the next 2 games, the first of which being tower control on Anchovy.
What are up with all these slosher maps right now?
It's a good night, Vapor.
Good night to be a slosher player for sure, Skev. And even tower control Anchovy, Inkjet, use Inkjet on the fan, get on top of that wall. Almost nothing can touch you other than a potential E-Leader or Charger player from the other team. Even using Inkjet over the window area would be huge.
I adore seeing Inkjet players pop off on Anchovy. It's so exciting, especially when they get up on that wall and they're just looking over everything. It's like that moment in The Lion King where the king says, like, everything the light touches is yours. And that is how empowered Inkjet players should feel on this map. We don't see an Inkjet on the side of Apex Legends, nor do we see it on kilokilopuertorico, and that makes me very sad, Vapor.
Yeah, unfortunately, but double armor is on the side of Kilo though. So, double armor, rapid, they have poking potential, but going 2 down and early for the side of Apex Legends. Kilo already pushing up.
Indeed they are. They are at that first check, and they have supreme control of Apex Legends Arcade. There is no way that first checkpoint does not fall. And there we go. The double missiles are going to force that Charger player on the side of Kilo to back for a moment, but not entirely disengage. Kelp, they're trying to win a very spicy 2v1, but it is not going to work in their favor. And there we see Octane cleaning up on that sniper, but another member of Kilo, somebody else, not the sniper, because here is the sniper, Kilo, all the way back in their that main core area, keeping up the pressure as Kilo begins a subsequent push.
Yeah, this leader is staying alive like their life depends on it, which is good as a backline player. And peeking up towards this window, gets a nice shot onto Bandit with that scope. Forced off that tower due to the missiles though. And going 3 down on the side of Kilo, 2 down on the side of the Apex Legends, but Octane just surviving that Suction Bomb, trying to find the pick here, sees that stealth jump as well. 3 members there, unable to win that battle, buddy. But this Rapid from Kung Fu Panda still keeping up that pressure. But from behind, that is going to be a full wipe on the side of Apex Legends. So kilokilopuertorico pushing up here and going to try to attempt to get past this second checkpoint.
Can we appreciate that blaster for a moment in terms of ultimately spreading chip damage? Like 10 out of 10, my friend. They are not going to clear that checkpoint. It does look like there was a little bit of confusion in Puerto Rico about who should be riding that tower. It is a 3v3 situation with Apex Legends not having any specials to defend. Bandit is on that top left area right for Kilo Kilo. And they are going to be able to tap that tower as 2 members of Kilo Kilo fall. And April knows where they're going to be, right? They know they're going to be on that right rats area. Not going to be able to smoke them out because it does look like Kilo Kilo anticipated that and fell back. But they are going to have to maintain control of their arcade as Apex Legends begins their first push of the game with 2 minutes left. They still have plenty of time, but they do have to clear 2 checkpoints.
Yeah, but you gotta watch your backs once in a while as well. Even though Kilo Kilo is 1 down, they do see that Tri-Slosher with missiles, luckily, and able to get that pick. That's going to be a full wipe on the side of kilokilopuertorico, and Apex Legends going to get this first checkpoint for free.
That mini player on the side of Apex Legends, like, they smoked out that Tri-Slosher, right? But then what do? They don't swim up and waste time. They jumped in to that wing area. So just in terms of keeping the pressure on and knowing where to be at the right time, 10 out of 10 play there from that player. I would love to catch their name. I believe that is April. Please correct me if I'm wrong. As Apex Legends does get on that tower, they aren't going to be able to clear that, but I take that back. Minun gets on the tower and does clear that checkpoint. It does look like they are going to fight for lead right here and right now as everyone on Apex and they do take it, Vapor.
Yeah, April did get to jump in, did take that lead. 4-point lead in favor of Apex Legends, and getting past that second checkpoint is crucial in the first place, but pushing it almost all the way to that third checkpoint, that is actually huge. Kung Fu Panda does have this baller ready, does go for the torpedo baller, but ends up going 2 down, make that staggered 3 down on the side of kilokilopuertorico, and a delayed wipe actually.
You can't get nervous, you can't get feedy and try and force something to happen, and Kilo Kilo did get punished for that, as once again, Apex is all the way up in their pit, getting picks on the members of kilokilopuertorico. Nico Chico is pushing in, trying to make something happen, but they are going to be shut down by that splat leg. Do get a pick on their way out, though, as kilokilopuertorico pushes into mid and is now trying to do something. They don't have much time, but they can't force it. They can't afford to keep going a player down.
Oh my goodness, what a shot by Kilo, getting a pick onto the opposing charger, but you can't get off this tower at this point. There are missiles ready on the side of Apex Legends though, so you gotta be careful. Here comes those missiles, there comes the storm, here comes all those specials on the field right now, and trying to push this right back, 1 down on each side, make that 3 down on the side of Kilo is only the Rapid unable to get on that tower. Apex Legends forcing this game into game number 5.
Oh my goodness! Game 5 in semifinals, incredibly exciting, and once again, an extremely even match, right? Like, Apex Legends won that match because they just never gave up. They were like, that's it. Like, we are putting all of our cards on the table. We are jumping in. We are pulling this lead right now because we only have a minute and a half left and this needs to happen. And they made it happen. Kilokilopuertorico, they got nervous. You could see it in their plays. You could see that how they were rushing in. They were like, dang, like, we need to do something. We need to take back all of this territory. And Splatoon is a fast-paced game, but you cannot play at the pace your opponents are making you play, and that is exactly what got them in trouble.
Yeah, definitely. This is game 5. This is Clamblett Snapper Canal, so it is a little bit slower, but it can also be very fast-paced, at least compared to Humpback Pump Track. So if you're on Kilokilopuertorico, take a step back, take a breather, and regroup, plan out what you want to do. You just dropped 2 games to the Apex Legends, who are going on a streak right now, trying to pull off this reverse sweep.
You have to wonder whether or not the Apex Legends was a little bit asleep. You know, they had a bye for round 1, and they you know, had 15 minutes to maybe just twiddle their thumbs or throw in some League or, you know, even squeak in a full round of Salmon, for heck's sake. And maybe they weren't quite awake during those first 2 games and are now coming back in swinging and making something happen for the remainder of this set. It is fantastic to see them play, genuinely.
Yeah, and here in Game 5 too, the Apex Legends, as I said, they are on the rise. They have the momentum with them right now. Let's see if they can carry this momentum into another slosher map of Clampless Snapper Canal.
Exactly, you gotta be a little bit nervous about that Nico Tri-Slosher if they're not playing Blob. Oh my god, please. But there comes the Tri-Slosher. I am just not getting it today, Vapor.
Yeah, unfortunately, no Blob. I'm gonna be sad because I don't see an Expo here at all either. But quickly, Nika Chico coming around this backside, looking for an early flank, maybe? No, but drops back into Street and plays for map control right now. Already 10 clams going 1 down.
You have to wonder whether or not they were responding to callouts there. Maybe they were prepared for an opening flank just in case Apex Legends was running a charger. They were like, yeah, like first things first, we gotta clear that charger off of Snipe. But then after realizing that no one is on Snipe, you know, maybe they disengaged, right? You have to wonder whether or not there was a plan and then a reevaluation of the plan based off of information given from their teammates. That's what I personally think happened. We do see Kilo preparing for an opening push, and here it comes. Kelp getting a pick on their way up to the basket. Very, very brave, taking that moment before dunking. Kilo, the Firefin player, is all the way backed up in Street with that blaster Kung Fu Panda. They do get a pick on that T-Tech, but they are just going to have to chill for a moment as that push does come to a conclusion.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kung Fu going down as well. 2v1 here. And with that mini going down, this Zap forced to play back, play for life, pops that armor, but with 2 members of Kilo right there, unable to get any of them, Nico Chico coming up with a pick and a power clam, 3v3 on the field right now, 2 power clams in favor of Kilo.
Kilo is doing a fantastic job of keeping control of both of these hills, right? You see players rotating back and forth, you see that they are putting a lot of emphasis on their opponent's hill, which is the right one, in order to give them an easy push into that basket. 2 down on the side of Apex Legends, and that armor coming out. This means it is go time, and Kelp is going for another dunk. They are going to get the 70 remaining. The question is, how many subsequent clams can they get in there? A jump in from Kilo, but that jump is going to be punished. Kelp tries to pick it up, does get punished as well. It is just the blaster, and my friends, you have no paint. They are going to get picked, but Nico comes in, grabs that clam from right behind Apex Legends, and does dunk it. It is looking very, very, very spicy in favor of Kilo.
Yeah, that play by Nico was actually huge right there, getting another 20 points in, since in that position they were probably going to die anyway, don't get me wrong. But getting more points in, bringing it down to 38. But here comes 2. Make that 3 power claims. Oh, but the miss.
Don't let it pick it up. Oh, good trade from Nico there. Oh, man, they're really trying to grab that power clam, knowing that they would pull lead if they did manage to dunk that. Excellent defense from Kilo, and my goodness, the courage from Apex Legends to go in with 3 power clams like that. I almost had a heart attack, Vapor.
Yeah, that was very scary for Kilo right there. If they did get it in, you did say that would have been lead, but 13, 14 clams on the field for Kilo, but Kelp getting shut down. There goes that power clam. So that closes any type of push that Kilo had in mind. But Apex Legends going 2 down, it isn't over yet.
They do manage to dunk, but they're not going to be able to clear their penalty points right off the bat. Kelp jumping in with a power clam and Only the Blaster Kung Fu Panda is currently up with 24 remaining in favor of Kilo Kilo. Don't get too much heart. Don't get feedy. You got a minute left. All y'all need to do is just defend an Apex Legends. They need one really solid push. We do see Nico over there on that hill. They're locking pods. They are possibly preparing for another push here.
Yeah, and Nico's just there, ready to go, getting a pick onto that Jet Squelcher, but they go 3 down. It's only Kung Fu Panda on that Blaster. They are able to get 1 pick, but the Power Clan coming in. This could definitely be a lead change here, as it does. Apex Legends coming in. 2 clans can win the game right now, but Kilo Kilo shutting it down for now, trying to make sure no one else is near that basket.
Kilo Kilo didn't even have control of their own snipe. There easily could have been someone sharking there for maybe not quite a Myopsitis moment, but maybe something close to it. That is very scary. I have to wonder whether or not the locking pods accidentally worked against them. Maybe they happened to spawn some pods right into Apex Legends' hands, and that enabled their push because it just wasn't timed quite yet. Kilo Kilo jumping into Nico on that left side. Oh, and look, 2 subsequent jumps. They're going for that dunk in overtime. They missed this 2 underneath the basket. That's gotta be game, my friends. That is nobody in play anywhere near those clams. Game 5 of semifinals is going to go to Apex Legends. What an extremely volatile set.
You have to feel sad for Kilo Kilo there. If they made both of them, that would have been a lead change too. So, coming up, unfortunate events for Kilo Kilo, but Apex Legends just clutching it up as much as they can, getting that 3-2 win in this set.
Honestly, it was a fantastic set. It did really look like Kilo Kilo was gonna come out with the W in this and move on to Grand Finals, but Apex Legends, they woke up and they said, nah, like, we're still here, you can't count us out, this isn't going to be easy for you, and they absolutely turned that around. The final seconds of that game, though, man, Kilo Kilo, I can't imagine what they're feeling right now. Granted, I know they come out once a week for this tournament, and they are fantastically talented players, and I do look up to Campfire as a team a lot, in addition to the other members of kilokilopuertorico that were playing tonight. And just GG's, dude. You gave them fire, and you took them to the moon and back, and just 10 out of 10, fantastic set.
Yeah, but with that, let's call it here. Let's get some water. Let's find some popcorn. Use the restrooms if you need to, but don't change the channel. We'll be right back with Grand Finals here in a few moments. Welcome back to your grand finals of Swim or Sink number 63. This is Vapor here on the mic with Skepidillions for your grand finals between the Apex Legends and Orange.
Orange, wow. By the way, Vapor, I have never heard anyone say my name with that much enthusiasm, so I'm gonna hit it right back at you. My name is Commentators, and I am here with Vapor for this between the Apex Legends and Orange. This is going to be very, very, very fire. I would add that Orange only played one set in the group stage. They had their other two opponents dropped in groups. So here they are, squeaking by Nessie's pools into the Great White Bracket, which is where all the top teams are. And here they are in Grand Finals. So I think Lady Luck is on their side tonight.
Yeah, it looks like it. Well, we're going to start off here on Rainmaker Sturgeon Shipyard, after all, and what's up with all these pretty good slosher maps get? Like, Rainmaker Sturgeon, we had basically all of last set too.
Zones Wahoo, that's great for sloshers. Clam Blitz Piranha, oof, Chef's Kiss. Rainmaker Black Belly, and then oh my god, this whole set, I mean, like, it's arguable Starfish, right? Like, sloshers can be good there. But, like, man, the rest of it, for sure.
Like, Jesus, man. Well, we're going to get going here in a few moments, but tell us a bit about Rainmaker Sturgeon Shipyard, Scott.
Rainmaker Sturgeon, right? It's all about that left push. If you could pull it up across cut and then just go for it. If you have your teammates in front of you messing things up at their pedestal, unless your opponents have a C-Jet with a very timely ray, like that clean, if you can pull that off. I like the maneuverability of a rightward window push that's very comfy. Your approach options as you get towards the pedestal are, you have many, many options. If you don't make it across cut, say you miss the jump like yours truly, you can go across sponge or even through the uninkable slick area right next to the window. You have many options here on Rainmaker Sturgeon, and that's what makes it such a competitive map mode.
Yeah, and Kenza Charger coming out from Bandit this time around on the Apex Legends, but double Inkjet on the side of Orange. I haven't seen this in a while.
Oh my god, double Inkjet goes so spectacularly if pulled off. And like, did you notice that K-Charger? Am I tripping?
Yeah, K-Scope from Bandit almost dying to that bomb there, but you gotta watch your backs as well, as there's maybe someone coming up. But the junior in front, Bandit not in the safest of all positions right now, and keeping in mind of that spinner, you gotta be careful of that too.
This is the second time in recent memory I have seen a K-Charger in a tournament, which absolutely boggles my mind. And they were both a Rainmaker. We do see the Apex Legends positioning on that block for a push, but that Charger is pre-firing, going to shut that down. Octane now with that Inkjet pushing up, but not really much to do with it when your team isn't in control of objective. K-Charger?
Yeah, that K-Charger definitely a very niche option, but it could definitely be a very good option as well. But Octane stuck in the corner here, does end up going down to that Junior that does have armor ready that could come out at any moment. Here comes the armor, here comes the jetpack from the T-Tech, pairing up well, able to find a pick onto that Zac too, and we're going to see a right side push here, Skep.
Oh yeah, very interesting push that is going to come to a close. They're not going to be able to benefit from that wide terrain if they are 3 down. Apex Legends is picking that up, and now they just have to know where the Fire Fin is, right? Like, that's my question. Like, where can we push that the Fire Fin is not? They do get 2 members down on the side of Orange, and that last member jumping into the Rainmaker. It looks like they are trying to position here for another cut push, but ooh, and there it is. They are going to squeak by the lead here. For the rest of this game, they don't really need to push this way. Bandit is going to just jump it off in order to force that push to a close, bring that Rainmaker back to mid, getting as close as they could to the wall in order to score as many points as possible.
Yeah. Honestly, not a bad lead either, but it could definitely be improved a little bit as the mini splatting does end up going down. So is that Zap on the side of the Apex Legends, and Q here with this T-Tech trying to rush up, make sure that Charger backs up to their window area and clearing out the side. A Bandit with a beautiful shot, taking out the splatter shot on the side of the Apex Legends, or Orange actually, going 3 down, and Apex Legends looking for a potential push here.
Indeed they are. They have that Baller and Inkjet ready to go. That Inkjet is popped. But Charger duel right there, the member from Tuki Z is going to be able to take down Bandit as that remaining member of Apex Legends is forced to jump out. Orange does not have a terribly long to push, and look how quickly they are climbing that left side. They just got up there in the blink of an eye. We do see, I believe that is Sa there trying and get up onto that block, but unable to do so as those missiles come out and do get multiple picks on the side of Orange. That push has come to the close. Octane gets into mid, picking a fight with that Nozzle Nose, is going to lose that, but that is very quickly shut down by Bandit guarding the Maker.
Yeah, but with that rain going down, that's going to be 2 members down on the side of Apex Legends, with that Baller being shredded too. Q trying to find a pick onto this K-Scope as well, trying not to die to it in return, but on the backfields, L3 going down, Rainmaker reset. Very neutral game at this point.
Indeed it is. Orange only needs 1 push, and they have many options to do that. I believe if they push this through Sponge, they will pull lead right out from underneath Apex Legends. They don't need to feel pressured in order to force cut, right? That is what Apex Legends is going to be anticipating here. Nice little spicy Inkjet duel, might I add. As he does pick up the Rainmaker, tries to push it left once again, but is going to get shot down rather quickly. It is a 3v3 situation with both backlines down, as that support player does pick up the Maker and tries to push it over, but very quickly going to be shut down by those missiles. Apex Legends has a little bit of time to defend here.
Yeah, there at the end, I was questioning a little bit why push it over on this left side, because if it gets over to that left side and you have no one else over there, you could easily get shut down like what just happened here.
Yeah, it was a little sus, Vapor, admittedly. Trying to force that leftward push, knowing that Apex Legends, that is how they preferred to push. Like, nobody, I think Orange at one point tried to push that right. I don't recall which team it was that did try and push it right. But they just got unlucky, right? They just unfortunately, like, had 2 members go down, and then the 3rd followed, and then the 4th, like, had no choice but to jump out. And that's gonna happen. Like, you're gonna get shut down on occasion. But the leftward push was just incredibly predictable, and given that that was very clearly Apex Legends' favored path, that is the push that they are going to be most prepared to shut down. And that's, in my opinion, what got Orange in trouble there.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said it flat out. Like, but now Zone's Macamart. People say this is basically the final destination of Splatoon. So let's basically see what happens here. Another pretty good slosher map. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a charger from each side as well. Knowing Z and Bandit, we probably will.
Yeah, I mean, Bandit's obviously bringing out another charger, right? I don't anticipate them bringing anything out other than that. But like Q on a tri-slosher, like Q plays tri-slosher, so like that would be very enabling in their favor for this for Spot Zone's Mako. Excuse me, tripping up on my words. But other than that, I would be very curious to see who would bring out a slosher, because April's been on Mini, and I don't know, typically Spotling players don't play buckets. Like, those are two very different classes. So in terms of where we will see some bucket actions, if I had to take an educated guess, I would think Q.
Yeah, definitely. Here comes Splat Zones on the Mako Mart. No slosher from either side, actually. But we do see a junior on both sides.
Yeah, and we are also seeing, I believe that is Octane, yeah, with the K-Shot once again. That is definitely a player to be scared of on that K-Shot. Apex Legends is going to be the first team to cap the zone, and they are very quickly building up that special economy. April watching that flank there from the CDS, I have no doubt that has been called out. There's also a cheeky little charger over on that right breakfast side. That is a wipe in favor of Apex Legends, very dominantly taking control of the zone and paint surrounding it.
Yeah, and Q finding Octane on a little bit of an overextension right there. Here comes missiles, here comes bomb rush. Zone can flip in a moment, but just like that, going 2 down on the side of Orange, but an opposing 2 down on the side of Apex Legends. Storm here on these dually squelchers, able to find an assist there, but ends up going down to that K-shot before their team able to take him out. They do get the zone flip though.
Indeed, and that is very, very critical at this stage in the game. Apex Legends having a very quick and a very solid hold. Orange did respond appropriately, taking their time to breathe, gather specials, and push in, because had they panicked and gone 1 or 2 down on that engagement, this game would be over right now. We do see that bomb rush coming out from Q on the splash. That double bomb rush going to be very, very helpful for them in maintaining control. 3 down on the side of Orange as Apex Legends pushes up, gets the final pick. That is a delayed wipe on the side of Orange, as Apex Legends, they are preparing for another very, very solid lockout. But Orange can do it. They did it last time.
Yeah, definitely. Having missiles almost ready for this mini splatling as well will definitely make it a bit harder for Orange to push in, especially going 2 down, 1 forced to jump back out as well. So with only 10 seconds of penalty left on this clock, they're able to find a pick on the T-Tech. But this mini just moving around, almost getting a pick on that Splash-O-Matic. Zone neutral for the moment. April ends up going down 2 down on the side of Apex Legends. Zone goes and be flipped. 3 down for Apex Legends, and just like that, Orange is in a very good position right now.
Indeed, they are. They have excellent paint control in the areas surrounding where Apex Legends is going to drop. They have their plat. They're bombing out their snipe. They have bombs on paper towels. That poor Mini trying to shark their way up that right side in order to break back in. They are having a very, very tough time. Orange popping their specials, preparing for an extenuated lockout as they are extremely close to Apex Legends lead. Chaining that armor to facilitate their way in here, and getting a pick on the junior. That is going to take down a huge chunk of Apex Legends paint as Orange does pull the lead here. 5 seconds left in the game, a very spicy 1v1 between these two players, and as they clutch up the game and win that 1v1, Orange takes game 2 rather decisively, I would add.
Yeah, and Orange, after they got that zone, they were able to lock it down. Double bomb rush, a lot of paint on the field. Can't go wrong with that. And now we're heading in 1-1 in the set currently of your best of 7, if I remember math correctly. But Tower Control, Starfish, main stage coming up next.
TC Starfish, right? First of all, I just want to say that I'm very much appreciating the backline v backline action. Not very often we get to see that much in competitive Splatoon, but I feel like we've been seeing it more recently, which is refreshing. I think people are adapting to this armor and missile spam meta and just saying, you know what? I'm just gonna play what I like and I'm gonna be good at it. And we are seeing that influence, and I'm here for it. TC Starfish, have we seen either of these players, the backline players, play leader?
I think we saw Bandit on leader earlier in a previous set on Wahoo Zones.
Oh, that's right. We did see that. I think leader would be very, very good here. Just in terms of that storm pressure on the tower, you can use it to clear out your trench. You can use it to take control of mid. Like, what can't you? Can use it to keep an opponent sniper, perhaps, off of their overlook. Which is something that you're going to be seeing from Z there. So I would love to see a leader here from Bandit. How would you, given these team comps, how would you approach TC Starfish?
Honestly, I'd say as a goal 1, try to get control of their snipe. If you can get control of their snipe, get that first checkpoint, try get into their window, and clear that second checkpoint if possible. But let's just see what these teams have in mind coming up here. Squeezer coming out, and no E-leader.
Double Firefin though, which is equally useful in terms of clearing out your trench and your court. Both teams rushing straight for mid. The bubble pick from Storm here is very, very interesting. Can't wait to see what they're gonna do with that. Very quickly getting a pick on the opposing K-Shot. Octane pushing back in, and look how quickly they're moving, putting pressure on that sniper. Going to be almost shut down by that Nautilus on right pillow, but it does look like their team responded appropriately. Those bubbles are ready from Storm, but they're not going to use them quite yet, just preferring to win out this team fight, yet perhaps get a pick on the board in order to be able to work up. Oh, excellent shot from Bandit there.
Yeah, stopping that push before it even started. Here comes that bomb rush. Try to get back mid control here. 3v3 on each side. Bandit dropping here into mid and keeping pressure on the opposing Firefin right now. Trying to use that scope to their advantage, but backing up, playing it safe. 3v3 on the field once again, but this is that. Not in the best situation right now. Kind of forced to back up, but they end up going down. 3 down on the side of the Apex Legends. And Orange here trying to push up and build up their specials. Find this first checkpoint.
Other than that, player in the street was very well positioned for a push here, but Octane there is going to... Oh, they do manage to clean up that K-Shot. That is excellent as Storm pops those bubbles, is using that for a shield on Snipe. Apex Legends is 3 down with Orange, as Orange in control of the tower, and look at all that orange paint there. They do touch that second checkpoint. They're going to wait for a moment, knowing that there is a very lovely sniper on top of Overlook, putting a lot of pressure on them, but they are just taking their time in clearing that checkpoint, and once this second checkpoint falls, it can be very, very dangerous for the rest of this game, Vapor. Orange has positioned themselves very well to maintain dominance with 3 minutes left in the game, and that second checkpoint having fallen.
Yeah, Z here with this Firefin allowing jumps to come in as well. Make control is in the favor of Orange right now, but Apex Legends just need to find a way to clear out Orange, find a pick or two, and there is one pick onto that Squeezer.
Yeah, that Squeezer going 1 down means a lot at this stage of the game, but as Apex Legends does go 2, make that 3 down, that Zap is the last player remaining, and Q cleans that up. in a very dominant fashion. Now, once again, Orange has control of everything and no checkpoints to worry about to bring this tower into the pit. This is a very dangerous situation for Apex, and it can snowball out of control. They need to breathe and take their time, but once again, they are 2 down as that tower heads back to where that second checkpoint was. Getting a pick on the Firefin is very, very pivotal, but they need to get subsequent picks, and there they are. Unfortunately, didn't get to see it, but 3 down make that a delayed wipe in favor of Apex Legends, now being able to take control of mid once again.
Yeah, this could definitely be a good push if they can find picks with that armor jet and having bomb rush ready as well. This could definitely be a cleared first checkpoint for Apex Legends if they do this right. Here comes that Inkjet, no armor yet. Missiles out as well. Q does end up going for that jump out. And with the armor up, bomb rush ready, they are using almost all their resources just for this first checkpoint.
That is what they need to do at this stage in the game. With a minute left, they are just popping their specials as they get them 2 members down on the side of Apex Legends to a very, very clutch suction bomb rush from Z. 3 down from Apex Legends. Orange is once again in control of mid. Apex Legends in terms of preparing for a final push, because obviously this is Splatoon, and a minute left, you still have time for a final push. They did manage to clear that first checkpoint. Orange has managed to clear the second checkpoint and then like maybe 2 or 3 points. So Apex Legends still has time to be able to clutch this up, and they are preparing to do so as they do get a pick on that K-shot. They have that Inkjet ready to go. The tower is in mid. They are on it. Now they just need to get that Firefin off of Snipe and get this tower up into their court. And it looks like they're doing just that, Vapor, with all 4 members left standing.
Yeah, but they do use all their specials in return, so they have almost nothing for this second checkpoint. Bubbles ready on the side of Orange, and missiles and bomb rush. Here they come, using two of those specials, going 2 down as well. That is going to be game number 3 in favor of Orange.
In a very decisive fashion. Apex Legends did have momentum going there into the end, but they did burn through their specials rather quickly, and they needed to, right? Obviously, it was overtime. You just got to throw everything you have at the wall and hope for the best. But Orange was prepared. They said, guys, breathe, get your specials. We are going to shut this down at the second checkpoint, which is exactly what you want to do and exactly what they did. Phenomenal defense there from Orange.
Definitely. And they played that almost perfectly as they could as well. Well, but heading into game 4 here, Clan Bliss, Piranha Pit. Like, I'm pretty sure you know this, I know this myself, but Bobber, Explosher, 2 backline sloshers, both pretty good for this stage, but we could only dream for it.
The hopium and copium is very, very, very real in this commentary booth. We're just, oh my gosh. Blob moment? No, unfortunately. Moving forward to Clans Piranha. I personally love this map mode. It's so volatile, and it's just a dumpster fire of a map mode in terms of how quickly everything could just fall out of your hands. You can't rush your defense here. You almost have to let your opponent score so that way you can come back in and stop the bleeding. Given how all those clams spawn in the middle of the map, defense doesn't become flushing out your basket. It becomes, how do you take control of everything else around you and just let them get the points that they need. And I think it requires a different brain and very interesting team play in order to be successful in Clams Piranha.
Yeah, definitely. But the 2 players we saw in charge of this whole set basically just like, alright, we're done with this. This map mode combination. They both went V-Jet here. But with a quick 2 down on the side of Apex Legends, they're not in the best position here early on. But at least there's no early push here.
Yeah, Orange not taking the time there that they had granted themselves in order to push in, but they are staying all alive. They have those bubbles. 2 down. Here comes that armor. They are pushing now, Vapor. Storm there with those bubbles, knowing that that last member standing is up and useless. Orange, they're dunking clams, already getting to 51 remaining, having 4 members standing. They need clams in order to be able to keep this going. Q popping that inkjet, keeping a lot of pressure on the Spire, getting 2 picks as a player comes up with 9 clams, but the basket is closed, my friend. There is nothing for you to dunk. So they're just gonna take a moment, breathe, and try to keep Apex locked out as much as possible. But here comes the subsequent push.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to have much to follow up on this one, so that's going to be a free power clam unless they don't grab their current pity, which they don't. So, but Bandit here with these missiles, 2 of their players do end up going down in the meantime, though. Make that 3, and rushing down Bandit here. Q scoring in a few points, ends up going down to that Jet Sculpture in the backfield, though.
Yeah, and here they are scoring. I had some hesitation about their previous push, but now it really seems that Orange has gotten it together, and they are where they want to be at the right time. They do go 3 members down, Q jumping in and scoring in 1 more clam, 6 remaining. The next push could be it, so that is a lot of pressure on Apex Legends. 29 penalty points on the side of Orange is not a lot. They need 6 power clams, if I'm doing the math correctly off the top of my head, and obviously a large clam in order to be able to KO this as quickly as possible. But Apex Legends has their work cut out for them. They need 1 or 2 extremely solid pushes.
Yeah, it would actually be 5 power clams, 20 points apiece here, but not going to see that just yet. There are 20 clams on the field for Apex Legends, so going 2 down for Orange here. Here comes those counter bubbles from Storm, though. Unable to stop the push so far yet. Trying to stop bleeding here, but scoring all these points for Apex Legends. Storm able to find 1, going 2 down on the side of Orange. April able to come up with another pick on the queue. Here comes that power clam, is able to get the points in. 13 remaining. This fleet could flip. Getting 1 more clam in. 2 clams could definitely take the lead right now. Bandit coming in, able to get the lead off that. 2 clams can also win it right now for Apex Legends. But this game is not over yet.
It is indeed not over. My jaw was on the floor and my fist was in the air. There was no way that was happening. Phenomenal play from Apex Legends, bringing that from 100 to 4. And I'm sure Orange was sweating, wondering, is this a KO? Like, are we done? Orange is preparing for another push. They do have 2 power clams and 30 clams total. This is still the pressure on Apex Legends. They did get that phenomenal push, but they need to shut this down. They have the time to do it. There's only a minute on the side of Orange to be able to make something happen, but a minute is a lot of time. So Apex Legends needs to be on their A game if they are going to pull off the defense, and they do manage to get the pick on that V-Jet, which is going to enable them for a much stronger defense here. The pressure is all on Orange.
Definitely, it definitely is right now. But just know for Orange, they only need 2 power clams to get a knockout right now, and even the lead. So they have those 2 power clams ready. If they could find a way to get in and potentially a double jump point, then that would be huge for them right now. Keeping control of these ramps here, though, having 2 specials, make that 3 specials ready to go. Here comes that armor, and we could definitely see some bubble inkjet pushes right here.
That is exactly what they are trying to do. Sock there is going to get picked with the power climb, so the power climb is not going to be anywhere near basket. They are going to follow up on that jump. Excellent responsiveness from Apex Legends as the game does go into overtime. Storm has to pick up that clam, otherwise it's going to despawn. Does pick it up, unfortunately goes down. One of their teammates jumps in and tries to do the same. Gets picked. This is a swarm from Apex Legends to keep anything from happening on the side of Orange. Absolutely clutching up, phenomenal push, even better defense in Game 4.
This is definitely going to be a close set, but unfortunately jumping to the wrong person there at the end, unable to get the power clam in. We're tied up 2 apiece right now, heading into game number 5, Rainmaker on Black Belly Skate Park.
Alright, so we saw the V-Jets come out on Clam Sperana, right? Both of these players have been playing Chargers all night. This is the C-Jet map, supposedly. I have been seeing less and less C-Jets on Rainmaker Black Belly as of late. But obviously, this map mode is very, very notorious for that weapon. I personally love guessing what backlines are going to play. I think that they're some of the most talented and resourceful and well-rounded players in the scene. So, out of all the backlines in the game, particularly Chargers and, in this case, shooters, what do you think they're going to bring?
Ooh, I definitely don't think we would see Chargers come out here, honestly. So I would say a V-Jet or a C-Jet to come out here, to be honest. Like, Chargers, honestly, a little bit slow for this map mode combination. Stingray, yes, it isn't bad for Charger. Pfeifin isn't bad either. We could definitely see Bandit come out with that K-scope as we did earlier. But I do expect to see more V-Jet, C-Jet here.
Okay, so, the K-Charger moment. There was a K-Charger on Rainmaker Black Belly in Low Ink last weekend. Like, that moment happened. So, my question is whether or not Bandit saw that, whether or not they are two squids of a pod. You know, like, whether or not there is a secret K-Charger cult out there. Because, oh my gosh, do we...
Unfortunately, we don't see the K-Charger this time, but C-Jet on both sides, so they're keeping the bubbles on the side of Orange here, and the Juniors stick on both sides as well.
Yeah, one member down going on the side of Apex Legends. As Orange gets their paint down, they do pop that armor as quickly as they have it. Sock picking up the Rainmaker and going to swing it right. There is at least one on the defense there, but they do have their teammates there. A very well-placed, accidentally on purpose, wink wink, bomb does roll over the edge and does pick the Rainmaker there.
Yeah, but Q here getting shut down by the opposing K-Shot as well. Octane firing those high-powered missiles this time around, trying to find someone. Does probably make the call-outs as well. Get that pop. They're going to try to find a way to open up a push right now.
Indeed they are. Apex Legends does have one member down, and that Ray is coming out rather early, given that Apex Legends hasn't even picked up the Maker. Orange does pick it up and is attempting to squeak it right. Those missiles coming out very, very quickly in defense. That Rainmaker and their assistant is pushed all the way back into that half pipe. That does give a significant advantage to Apex Legends, because now they just have objective exactly where they want it. Pushing up minus there with that Rainmaker, they are going to get it to 26 remaining. That is a very, very good opening push. We have 3.5 minutes left. Orange absolutely can and most likely will turn it around, as is the nature of Rainmaker Black Belly. But in terms of gathering momentum and mental, mental energy, that was a very good push for Apex Legends.
Hold on, I don't want to call you off here, but there was someone trying to go on the backside to pick up that Rainmaker. I'm pretty sure it was the K-Shot on Apex Legends that almost got there before getting shut down right as the Rainmaker reset. But Orange here has those bubbles ready. Here comes those bubbles. Unable to find any picks with them. Pushing it all the way to 27. It's only the C-Jet left on the side of Apex Legends. They get the pop. That's going to be a lead change. And Z coming up clutch with that knockout. Game number 5 going in favor of Orange. And this is match point right now.
Okay, so that was an emotional roller coaster. My heart went, ooh, 27, 26, 1 point meme, I'm in pain. But then you said that the C-Jet was the only one left standing, and I was like, wait, what? And then they take the repop, they pull the lead, and then I'm like, oh, Apex Legends, like, you have to do something, like, as you're coming out of spawn, like, you can't let this happen. And then Orange is like, nah, fam, we're gonna clutch up. And that is exactly what they did. And they skirted on the Rainmaker pedestal for a moment, and I was like, oh my gosh, are they gonna get caught in ink? Is somebody come around and flank them? And are we gonna have another, 1 point meme situation? And, That is not what happened. Orange did indeed KO. That is fantastic for them. Talk about momentum, Vapor.
Yeah, momentum for sure. But it still isn't over yet. Even though it's match point for Orange right now, Apex Legends are still coming off of a few wins themselves. But that must be a mood killer right there.
Because of how quickly it was, right? Like you get Orange on their toes, they fall back, they put themselves in a regrettable position by essentially giving up lead by falling back through half pipe, right? You get the pop, you push forward, you have a fantastic play, your K-shot sneaks in and tries to pick up the Rainmaker and cheese it, right? Like that's so much energy, that's so much gas, and then just whoosh, in comes Orange and just comes in for the KO in the next push. Like that's gotta take the wind out of your sails.
Yeah, definitely. If you're Apex Legends, you have to come in with the regroup right now. We do see Bandit stick to that V-Jet this time around, but no backline on the side of Orange this time. Z switching it up to that K-Shot this time around. Let's see what happens here on Splat Zone's The Reef.
Right, we see those missiles coming out from Orange, getting a pick on that V-Jet. Neither team running a traditional backline at this point. I guess the foil squeezer kind of counts. 2 members down on the side of Apex Legends as Orange is in dominant control. Quick, Sack, there's one behind you. Turn around, get him. Sack is very quickly pinned and does go down. Excellent team play there from Apex Legends.
Yeah, and with Sack being pincered in there, Apex Legends will take the zone, take an early lead here as well. But building up those missiles, even though their shot ends up going down, they can still hold control very well here. Here comes missiles, here comes armor, here comes a double missile on the side of Apex Legends here. And the bubbles from the side of Orange as well, trying to keep pressure, but doesn't end up with anything, leaving the Junior of Orange last one alive.
Apex Legends absolutely had a plan there, and they executed it in terms of chaining their specials and then taking on that fight on their own tree and being able to shut down that squeezer. And I believe it was the octo shot as well. Oh no, the splash, my bad. To take down that splash. And now we do see Orange trying to break back in, but they don't necessarily have the control in order to be able to situate the bomb rush where they want it. They do force the zone back into neutral, but obviously that foil squeezer was the one pinging the zone, and they are going to get picked as well. The rest of the members of Orange try to jump in and force something to happen, but they do get punished for it, as Apex Legends is now even more strongly situated for a lockout scenario.
Yeah, 20 counts remaining. This could definitely be it, but here comes missiles from Apex Legends. Bubbles ready for Orange, trying to find something out of nothing right now, able to neutralize the zone. April getting pincered in 2 down, make that 3, make that a full wipe on the side of Apex Legends. Orange is not out of it just yet, and just like that bomb rush ready, they're trying to find a lockout right now.
That was looking pretty sweaty for Orange coming in clutch. Someone give that K-Shot a medal. Q there just watching their opponent's car, trying to get as much paint down as possible. They do have missiles on them. That is going to force the members of Orange backs. Apex Legends has more missiles to chain with it, as well as their armor, and most likely that armor jet is going to be coming out any second. They are taking their time though, with 30 ticks remaining. The Inkjet getting a pick on that squeezer. No doubt that the members of Apex Legends are going to be pushing back in. And there it is. That is a cap in favor of Apex.
Yeah, and also a delayed wipe on the side of Orange as well. So they're going to be much slower to spawn. They do have a 50-point penalty though, so they have a little bit of time. But you gotta be careful of Octane right here. Coming in clutch with 1, almost getting another onto Z. But going 2 down for Apex Legends. Make that 3 down. Make that all down. Orange here trying to find another lockout. 40 penalty points on their side.
Orange was breathing at the start of this match. They were like Apex's Legends plays absolutely were clobbering Orange, right? But Orange was like, wait guys, like we're at match point. We are not about to lose this right now, and they are throwing everything they can at it. 3 specials online, that Suction Bomb Rush going to come out. The bubbles are going to come out. The Ink Armor online as well as they clear those penalty points, getting a pick on that VJet. 2 members of Apex Legends jumping down from lamppost in order to force the zone into neutral. Only that Junior is left, and they are alone, and they are dead. Apex Legends does cap that zone as is very, very quickly painting up and taking a very decisive control.
Yeah, definitely. All of Orange coming from the respawn right now. Here comes the Inkjet from Octane right now, shooting some shots, trying to find a pick somewhere. Unable to get any with that, though. But here comes armor from both sides. Zone still in favor of Apex Legends. Octane unable to come up with a trade there from Z. Make that 3 down on the side of Apex Legends. Zone flips into the favor of Orange here. Jess Welcher, last one alive with all of the other friends of Apex Legends coming in from that respawn.
Z took their time popping those missiles, trying to track where those players are, as you mentioned, as they were coming out of spawn, so that way Orange can try and situate themselves to best prepare for a defense. 3 ticks left that Inkjet is online. Apex Legends doesn't have a lot of time. They are going to start chaining those specials. That Inkjet coming in into zone, going to be cancelled by Sock as they get a retake. 2 members down. It is a 2v2 situation in overtime with those missiles online. My oh my is Sock clutching up there, getting another pick. Orange going to squeak by that lead in a very, very decisive final game of the set. Congratulations to Orange for taking SOS 63 and Apex Legends for going second.
Yeah, like this was a very close set overall. Like no matter what this final score is, I wouldn't even be surprised if this went into like a game 19.
A game 19 scenario, right?
Game 19 in the best of 7.
Game 77?
Heyo!
Oh man. Well, that was a fantastic, incredibly, like, honestly, like, semifinals and finals, all of those matches were incredibly back and forth, extremely to the wire. Everyone fought tooth and nail, and you love to see teams give it their everything, even in a, you know, cheeky little weekly, like, SOS. It has been fantastic to commentate with you, Vapor. Honestly, so good to share the mic with you. So before we go, where can the good people find you?
You guys can find me over on Twitter at V4P0R_SPL. Find me under the same name on Twitch as well. Skep, where can the viewers find you at?
Oh my, thank you for asking. Thank you all for having me tonight. Thank you to Kraken for streaming. My name is Skepidillions, as seen on screen. And you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and Sendo.ink under the name as spelled there. Are they seeing what we're seeing? I don't
think so. They do not.
Okay, pick moment.
Oh my god.
Well, thank you all for turning out to SOS 63. Congratulations once again to Orange for taking the set, and we will see you all in 2 weeks. Stay fresh, everyone.
Have a good night.